Getting absorbed in the music. Because I know what's to come. The reading simulator. Song's good though. I like it a lot. It's the opening music that I was never able to show because the opening cutscene's so loud. You thought the story cutscenes were loud? The opening cutscene literally destroys your ears. I thought I'd put the song on since it's hopefully the ending of the arena story. Oh, looking at this makes me feel like I was just here. Well, no time like today. Because we're gonna finish it. Today. No matter how long it takes.
Why are there two of her?
I am a shadow. The true self.
Well, at least she's already unveiled herself.
President Shadow.
I'm taking the real one.
Oh, she's gonna run off?
I'll never let you catch me.
You'll never take me alive. Labrys double gives me a glare of pure malice before carrying off the original and fleeing the scene. I almost chase after her without thinking, but I stop myself and reconsider. That second Labrys, who was that? This completely unexpected situation has me off guard. I can't decide how to proceed.
What is she? You seem to know.
First, tell me something. Why was she in so much pain?
Well, you see, she wasn't, because she's a robot.
What's all this about Labrys and weapons?
I'm sorry, but that's classified. It's not for civilian ears.
Then I won't tell you anything about her.
Ooh, Rize getting snappy.
If you want to know what I know, you have to tell me what you know first.
That's a fair argument. Oh, Rize, I've never been on your side before. That may have sounded too much like I don't care if she's in pain. It would be unreasonable to demand that she tells me everything she knows without offering something in return. And she's already seen Labrys' true form. So, I give a small sigh.
Well, I suppose you're involved now. All right, her official name is 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. Codenamed Labrys.
Oh, it's only a code name? That's not... That's actually her name? The 5th generation?
She is an android weapon created by the Kirijo group years ago. In order to use persona abilities...
The Kirijo group? I know who that is. I did shows for you. She's a machine? Kujikawa's shocked expression conveys her thoughts as perfectly as if she'd spoken aloud.
We couldn't let her run free. Just look at the trouble she's caused. We came to retrieve her and minimize any damages.
I hold back no details in telling her of the cruel experiments she must have underwent during her development. Kujikawa takes it all in and quietly sighs.
So when she said she didn't want to remember, that's what that was about.
Watch this take like 20 minutes.
Hey, why didn't you listen to what she was trying
What
to
was that
say?
noise?
She said that she didn't want to remember, but you kept pushing your demands on her and making her feel bad.
Rize's really laying it in the midst. I paused, considering her accusation. She may be right. Indeed, I was so desperate to put an end to this case that I didn't listen to what Labrys had to say.
You gave her a heart because you needed her to have one, and then kept treating her like that. No wonder she's in pain.
No wonder she hates you people. Tears stream from the girl's eyes. As angry as she is, she's crying for Labrys. Even after seeing her true mechanical form and learning that she's a weapon, Kujikawa has nothing but compassion for Labrys.
Why are you siding with Labrys so much?
Maybe because she's not running around in a fur
I
coat?
heard her voice a few times. It sounded like it was from her past. She said she was forced to fight when she didn't want to. That she was hurt and afraid.
I see. Kujikawa had also heard the voice, just as I did when she used her persona. Kujikawa slowly tells me about what happened last year, the reasons why she came to Inaba. Due to her career as an idol, she was cut off from those who knew her, for who she was, leaving her isolated. But just when she had lost faith in everything, she met people who believed in her, saving her life.
Someone to believe in, huh?
Yeah, it'd be a shame if you lost that person. Hearing that brought up again is a sore point for me.
She's Miss President's shadow.
Kujikawa tells me the details that she previously said she wouldn't reveal.
Kujikawa.
The repressed desires you don't want to admit? Here, they take on a life of their own.
So that's why. Then what's her ultimate goal? Why did she take Labrys?
To kill her.
Shadows. They try to become real. It confronts the original with weaknesses
They're gonna
to make
murder
them
a
deny
robot.
that the shadow's part of them. Also, it can take their place.
I see. Then there's no time to lose.
Do you think you can save her? A shadow doesn't disappear until the original person accepts it.
That's why I must believe in her and support her. Even if it's left unsaid, I still understand Kujikawa's desire. I share it.
Fujikawa, let me amend my earlier statement. I didn't come here just to minimize the damage. I came to save everyone.
I came to kill
Will you trust
Labrys.
me
I
in
mean,
that?
I came to save Labrys. She looks into my eyes, and after wiping her face with a handkerchief, she nods slightly.
Make sure you listen to what Labrys wants to say this time, okay?
Mitsuru promises, but crosses her
I
fingers.
fully intend to.
Kujikawa smiles in embarrassment. She apologizes for me for taking such a spiteful tone. I can tell she's being honest and sincere. Kujikawa promises to cooperate as much as possible for Labrys' sake. I decide to have her contact her friends and pass on a simple explanation of the situation. She agrees and adds that they'll try to contact Akihiko and Aigis as well. She seems to have already grasped how our safeguards against detection by personas work.
Speaking with you made me understand something important. Thank you for that. It must be that smile of yours that catches your audience's heartstrings.
Promise me then. Make sure you come back with her.
Make sure you sign me for another audition. I mean, make sure you save Labrys. Spurred on by her words, I begin running to where I detect Labrys ought to be. Though I don't yet have any plan to save her. If I find her again and listen this time, will that truly be enough to save Labrys? No. It won't be. But we have to drag this out, so we're going to add another scene. The invisible walls are still here, leading me to the music room. According to the guide map, it should have been further away, but just as with the announcement room, the layout of this version of the school is off.
Who are you?
Where are you keeping a map of the school? There's no way you got pockets with that outfit. Someone else is already inside. He frowns upon seeing me. I recognize his face from the video. If the walls are still here, does that mean the Grand Prix rules are still enforced? As a test, I hold out a hand out to the space where I just entered the room.
It seems we're locked in. The rule against proceeding without fighting is still in effect.
Are you Kirijo-san by any chance? Rise got in touch with me.
I am indeed Mitsuru Kirijo.
Why is this interaction happening?
As I recall, you were the no, your name was Narukami.
Narakama.
There doesn't seem to be anything scrambling our senses. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't sense any noise, but it can't hurt to ask. He nods, showing that he understands the
Rise
question.
told me you were out to save Miss President. Labrys, her name was?
That's right. But I must act swiftly. There's no noise here because our enemy thinks we'll be hesitant to fight in our right minds.
So could you just throw the match?
Do you mind conceding?
Yeah.
I don't want to drag you into this any further.
I understand, but I can't do it like that.
Narukami gives me a wry smile before his expression flattens
If the
again.
rules are still in effect, my friends are still trapped. They still need someone to rescue them. I fought battles I didn't want and taken on a lot of responsibilities, which includes saving Labrys, of course. It's not that I don't believe you, but I don't think it's right to simply hand the burden over to someone I just met.
I see.
I mean, fair point, but you know, you're not the protagonist in this situation,
Sorry, this
so
must
could you
be
just
frustrating
concede?
to you.
No, don't misunderstand me. I have no objections. I admire your willingness. With the final battle awaiting ahead, perhaps it's best that the stronger of us two should be the one to proceed.
Also a fair point, but you know, concede. The atmosphere in the area changes. Narukami senses it as well and readied a weapon. It's strange, but he reminds me of someone. Although his fighting stance, physique, and features are completely different, he still reminds me of the one who saved us and the entire world.
I like the look in your eyes. I will test your resolve with my sword.
Wonder who she could be talking about. Certainly not Akihiko. Rest in peace.
Final.
Oh, that's right, I gotta play with Sura now. I don't know how to play this lady. Marin Karen. That's how you pronounce that? I always pronounce that weird.
What? You have time to kick.
Narakama, stop.
Guys.
I've won. I will move on.
I've killed you. Now I will leave. I hold up my hand to Narukami, who had collapsed on the floor, and help him up. Fortunately, I won the match. Although in fighting these people, I've come to see them in a new
But first, I
light.
have something to ask you.
In this world, to encounter another leads to an imminent win or lose situation. That's why I had intended to limit my interactions with others. All I felt regarding these students was regret for dragging them into this mess. But in order to be sure I can save Labrys, I feel that I'll need their help. Since they have more experience with this world, they're most likely closer to settling this.
You said that you want to save Labrys too, but you barely know her. She isn't human and has been through things that aren't easy to understand.
She's murdered her friends.
What were you going to
That's
do
pretty
for her
easy.
when you found her?
Narukami quietly closes his eyes before answering.
Nothing in particular.
She's gonna be there for her, you know, be a friend, be a Chad.
But I could have stood at her side at the very least.
At her side.
A number of things dawned on me with Narukami's words. Though I had resolved to fight by myself, I wasn't truly alone. I had family and close allies, all who supported me. But Labrys was alone. She fought against the same units who shared her fate, and after escaping into this world, she had no one. I see. I understand now. He politely underlined something important I had overlooked. He's not the first to show me a new perspective like this. This warm sensation that spreads within me. I understand now. That's why Narukami reminded me of him. Everything
You really
reminds
do
me of
remind
him.
me of an old friend.
I do?
It's a shame he's dead.
Yes. Though he's more than just a friend. I owe my life to him.
You also owe your life to him, Narukami, so please pray to the fallen. I attempt to contact Kujikawa again. When she responds, I give her another request. She eagerly agrees, and Narukami, who's listening, and nods in
Well
satisfaction.
then, I'll be going now.
Oh, not the song.
To save Labrys.
There is no hesitation now. I have seen what must be done. I must go forth to keep my promise with him. Labrys will be saved. I'm certain of that now. Oh, they just ended the song. You menaces. We're jamming. Well, I was at least. In order to pursue the escaped shadow, I stop briefly and attempt to locate it with my persona. It's on the move, but it's headed to the...
Kujikawa, can you hear me? The shadow is headed to the announcement room again.
I've already picked up on her and got out. Also, I've managed to reach your friends. I was just talking to someone named Aegis.
Kujikawa says she's never tried to contact multiple people at once, but with a little practice, she's picked up the knack. Her persona support skills are advanced indeed. In contrast to my own inability to contact my friends against this noise without linking my persona to the communicator, she easily located Akihiko and Aegis. Really, she's quite talented.
Aegis, can you hear me? I need you to keep Kujikawa safe.
Understood.
The shadow's presence is nearby. I retrace my steps to the announcement room and throw open the door. I'm ready to end this.
My. You've come.
You're not
Sorry,
me.
but you're too late. You really helped me out, though. You were pretty hard on this girl, weren't you?
I...
The expression drains from Labrys' face as she mutters to herself with self-reproach. The shadow must be hammering at Labrys' psyche in order to have Labrys deny herself.
Look me. We've got a guest.
Kill her.
This human's here to take us back.
Hit her with the tag team.
She'll never understand how we feel. A typical human.
Yeah, filthy, filthy human. God, imagine being human.
Say anymore!
Labrys.
Oh. I step between Labrys and her shadow and draw my weapon. The shadow looks at me, and her face boils over with hatred.
What's this all about? Oh, of course. It would be a problem if she were destroyed while you were retrieving her, huh?
Retrieve? No. This has got nothing to do with me!
It's a nice fur coat.
How long are you
Feels
gonna
very.
lie to
It looks
yourself?
very soft and fluffy.
It's about time you face reality. You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through. Right? That's why we're in a school having a fighting tournament. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand.
That ain't true!
but it didn't work.
Say it. Say the words. Do it.
Kirito marched in here and spoiled your fun. It's alright though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did.
You know, now that I think about it, Labrys kind of got the best shadow. Because she didn't have anything like weird to reveal. Aside from she was a robot.
That ain't what I want. You're
The shadow smirk widens at Labrys' protest.
not me.
Alright, loud cutscene incoming. Labrys' rejection seems to have crossed some line. I could sense the shadow's power rising dramatically in response to her words.
That's right. I'm myself. I'm free. Even if I'm
I'm
misunderstood.
free!
I'll escape from all this.
I'll murder you all. Just gonna let him play once.
Yes, the power.
My, what big fingernails you have.
It's gone berserk.
No, what? I'm letting him play once.
But there should still be
That's
time.
it.
I'll make you settle down.
For one last time. I support Labrys, who slumped over and make my intentions plain.
What's with you, you hypocrite? The way you've been acting.
Don't call
pisses me
Mitsuru a
off.
hippo. A hypocrite.
How can you be so kind to her? No matter what you do, it won't erase your sins. Fine. Since you're a Kirito, why not tell you exactly what your family did to me? What
Wow.
they made me do.
We're gonna drag this conversation more. The shadow thrust her weapons towards me as if sentencing me to judgment.
Remember those spectating students? What did you think those human-shaped silhouettes were?
For a moment, her unexpected shift in topics catches me off
Those are
guard.
shadows, too. Shadows of the prototypes you made her destroy.
Oh.
When they were destroyed, their information was transferred to the victor. What's left of their hearts remains deep inside Labrys. That's right. They all have a soul. But because they never fully developed, their shadows helped her play school after they separated from her.
That's an interesting
You
concept.
see?
I never thought about it like that.
Soldiers you saw everywhere were her sisters she had to kill at the Kirito group's orders.
I am at a loss for words. I can only stand there
I
speechless.
haven't forgotten. I'll never let their memories or their pain go.
See, I think the story to this game is good. It's just I think it was poorly done.
I won't forgive anyone
poorly
who
executed.
tries to take my freedom.
Her anger, it's justified. It's natural for her to hold a grudge after what we did to them.
I acknowledge your anger and grief. Setting things right here is my way of atoning. This fight will release you from your curse once and for all.
Time to beat up the shadow for the 6th, 7th time?
Finally!
You're mine.
The fight's over. It just started.
An elegant finish.
I hope you guys enjoyed that fight. After a fierce battle, that was not a fierce battle, that was a slaughter. After a fierce battle, the shadow finally falls silent and stops resisting entirely. I go to elevate Labrys to help bring her around. When she regains consciousness, she looks at me with sorrow and resignation.
Am I gonna be alone again?
Yes.
What am I saying? Of course I am. After all I've done.
No, no one will lock you away ever again.
Huh?
I thought I had a firm grasp on things, but in the end, all I did was drive you into a corner. I'm sorry.
Why?
Well, you never actually killed
Wasn't
anybody, so
Kirito
you know.
apologizing to a machine. I mean, I I hurt people. Dragged them into my own mess. I'm just like I was before. There ain't no reason to forgive me.
Oh, well, by that, I guess if you say that, then you can get back in the box.
That is solely your opinion.
Huh?
Kujikawa, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Is that Rise-san?
That's right. You've met her too, and...
God, I know Rise is going to be the final one. It seems Kujikawa accomplished what I asked of her earlier. I wanted her to use her persona ability to contact the voices of her friends directly to Labrys. Some of them I've met, while some I don't know at all. In truth, some of them may find it hard to forgive Labrys for dragging them into this, even after learning of her circumstances. But I believe in them.
To tell the truth, I only saw you for a second, so I ain't really sure what's going on.
I don't even know who you are. This is all a dream, so I don't really care.
But it seemed like you went through a lot. Anyway, hope things start looking up.
That's way too simple. Can't you think of anything better to say?
Hey, it ain't simple at all. I know damn well how tough it is to see a shadow come out of yourself.
Yeah, we've all been through the same thing. So we'd suck pretty bad if we didn't forgive you.
Labrys just standing there like, why do I hear voices in my head?
You caused me a lot of trouble, but it was still kind of fun. Kinda.
Teddy, meanwhile, holding anger and regret. They know how to accept someone for who they are, regardless of looks. That's why, even though Labrys is a machine, they will surely welcome her. I'm confident in it. And indeed, they respond to Labrys with more warmth than I had thought.
What you saw wasn't the whole picture, right? That's just how our hearts are.
I concur. None of us can cast stones after you've gone through the hardship of facing your shadow.
Alright, who's gonna say why is Naoto here?
That aside, I'm just
Okay,
glad
no
you're
one.
okay. I was worried about you. I left you alone knowing you couldn't use a persona.
Labrys, when you come back, we should talk.
Senpai's right. And not just us. Sister? Can you hear me? I too would like to talk with you. There's something I'd like to tell you. You may know it already, but still.
The voices chiming in are gentle, kind, and warm. I can't help but be touched as well. My words alone could not have accomplished this.
Guys, why?
Just like a filthy Korijo couldn't do it herself.
You are a machine, unlike us. That is undeniably true. There will be days to come when
Okay,
you
never
are
mind,
tormented by
she's talking.
solitude and caged by your own weakness. But one thing will be very different. Starting today, you are not alone.
Whether she's machine or human has no bearing on her suffering. To be crushed under the weight of despair with seemingly no end to the pain, feeling that one cannot go on any longer. I am no stranger to those feelings myself. It was always someone else, like my family or teammates, who saved me. But when you're alone, it's difficult to see a way out. You can't find it unless someone else shows it, or shows you. That's when you learn the extraordinary power derived from one's relationship.
Companionship is the greatest guide. In my mission here, I've come to be reminded of that. We hope to become that guide for you as well. If you're not alone, you can stand to face the most painful of truths.
Face the truth.
Labrys' gaze turned towards her own shadow. There is no more fear in her eyes. She understands now.
I see. I get it now.
I watch over her as she stands up. No words pass between us, but I am here for her, and that may be enough. Alright, shield your ears.
I'm sorry I ignored you all this time.
I'm not sorry.
I was the one who left you all alone. No. You are me, after all. This is my persona.
You know, speaking about the loud audio, just before I booted up the game today, I saw they made a post on Steam for Persona Arena, and they're just now starting to fix the audio issue, apparently. Which is nice. Well, there's no telling when that update will come out.
Welcome back, you guys.
Together with Labrys, we head towards the rooftop, where there's supposedly an exit to the real world. A small crowd welcomes us on our arrival. Some of them I haven't yet met in person. If I recall correctly, the energetic girl with the short hair is Chie Sadonaka. The well-built young man must be Kanji Tatsumi. And that must be the general. I mean, the real Teddy. His speech is no different from the imposters, but in the absence of the evil demeanor, the real one is much more adorable. All the faces I saw in the video are here, with a smile on everyone.
Whoa! You really are a robot! Hey, can I touch you?
No.
Chie-san, that's a bit impolite. It's hard enough restraining myself already.
You said restrain yourself.
Well,
Oh, there's been a lot of issues with the PC port. It's not just the audio. When I first downloaded the game, I literally could not boot it up because it kept giving me some interreader issue or whatever that I couldn't do anything about, and I had to hook my PC up to another TV that I guess was worse than my monitor, and then I had to boot up the game on that TV, and then put the game in windowed mode, and then by putting it in windowed mode, I was able to put it back on my monitor. I don't know. Apparently they fixed that a little while ago, allegedly. I give Labrys an encouraging smile. She needn't be afraid to enter their circle. None of them are rejecting her after all.
sorry I caused you guys trouble.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. That Grand Prix was you, right?
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Wasn't a half bad idea. Fighting to see who's the strongest man was awesome.
What?
Kanji's right, but you should have invited me too.
Sorry?
I won't forgive you
Oh,
until
God.
you say, I really like you, you big bear of a man. All sexy like that.
Guys, stop making it even worse. Sorry we're starting off like this.
In any case, I'm really glad you're all right.
I got you to thank for that.
They take very naturally to someone who isn't human.
Great job, Mitsuru. But man, talk about a rowdy bunch of students.
Still, they are kind.
I look at Labrys, surrounded by new friends. I wish I could join them, but part of me would rather watch over them for now. And there are things I still need to consider.
Is something the matter?
I'm not good at relying on others. My responsibilities are so heavy that I don't even think of trusting others with them. I've been told it before, but it never gets easy.
Why not think of things more simply?
Why not shut off your brain and go unga bunga?
When something cannot be
Like
accomplished alone,
Akihiko.
there is no other choice but to trust in others to help. Good or bad, it is inevitable. Then why not accept it and move forward?
Teddy needs jail time. Teddy needs more than jail
You
time.
aren't alone either, after all.
I can't keep myself from smiling at the truism I never would have come to up with.
You're right. It's not difficult at all when put that way. It's just as I was saying about companionship being a guide.
Indeed, I'm thankful for my companions. They say the things I cannot and take me outside myself with new perspectives. I'm sure that the same principle will save Labrys from straying from her path. Although, I think again about the case. Now that Labrys is safe, there's another issue. The mastermind was not Labrys, but her shadow. However, her shadow emerged and began to act freely only after she entered the TV world. It's hard to reconcile with that Labrys taking the initiative to escape. Come to think of it, there's something else that can't be explained if we assume Labrys was behind everything.
Was Labrys truly the mastermind here?
No, because she didn't have a persona, so she couldn't enter the TV.
Huh? What are you getting at?
Actually, wait. Yeah, never mind. No, they needed Labrys to get into the TV.
Why did Labrys choose them? Where did Labrys learn of them?
It's the students of Yasogami High that trouble me. I can't see why Labrys would have selected them. I thought they might have sensed the change Labrys caused in the other world, or in this in this world on their own, but no. The video that brought them here called them by name. Not to mention that the shadow took the appearance of General Teddy from the start. Neither would be possible unless she had identified them beforehand.
Even we didn't know about them or about this world inside the TV. How did Labrys discover all this?
Sometimes the words just kind of like blend in to like certain parts of the screen.
Yeah.
And it
I
messes
can't
with me.
explain it either.
And I still have my doubts regarding the hijackers' mental state. Their memories were so muddled that they couldn't even explain themselves. Do Labrys' abilities extend that far? The more I think about it, the more questions arise. There must be some larger plan at work here after
The
all.
fastest way to find out is to just ask her.
Hey, Labrys.
Akihiko.
Meanwhile, she's choking out Kanji. Akihiko's loud voice catches not only Labrys' attention, but the high schoolers as well. I had hoped to keep them away from this since they were innocent bystanders. Akihiko seems not to notice my irritated glare.
When did you wake up? How did you find out about the TV world?
About this place?
So how does Labrys get the giant battle axe through the TV? Hey guys, she's being hacked. She sounds like a fax machine. Labrys abruptly stops moving just before starting to convulse and taking a leap backwards. It happened so suddenly that even the students standing some distance away raised their voices in alarm.
Labrys!
Get back!
As soon as Akihiko cries out, Agus runs towards the students to protect them. I keep a careful eye on Labrys, whose face has gone blank and puts up distance between us. My fears have been realized. Labrys reaches for the axe on her back and swings it without hesitation. See, she's being hacked this time.
No! Someone's hijacked her.
What?
If we're all here, the shadow's defeated, and someone is still hijacking her?
I know you're there. Who are you? Show yourself.
I expected a response, but the source of my answer came as a
Show
shock.
myself.
Oh, okay, never mind. They're doing the same as
cold.
Naoto's.
You treat me as if I were a stranger.
That voice.
It's Shadow Mitsuru. A pull of darkness emerges from one of the nearby shadows forming...
No way. Kirijo-san's shadow?
It is I. Oh, never mind. I thought we were getting a cutscene. I was like, what the heck? It has my appearance, my face. They had to load in that one portrait. It's me in every way, save for the unnatural gleam in its golden eyes and the mocking expression it makes.
Do you not recognize your own face? I am you.
Still, my heart is calm. In fact, her appearance may be giving me more clues as to the enemy's intentions.
You seem to have a penchant for deception. Unfortunately, I already know that you're the mastermind here. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers. Very good. No wonder you managed to drive back a god once.
The god of death.
I want them even more now.
You want them? Explain yourself.
Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled
It's such a cool idea.
Wait,
But
what?
for this game,
You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness.
the idea of stealing people's shadows, or stealing their personas and recruiting the shadows, is such a cool idea.
This one's designed to make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
Who are you?
Sadly, it seems things won't be going according to plan this time. But I'll make use of what tools I have to the very end. This is my last chance. No, more like a marvelous entertainment. Stand, my puppet.
The shadow ignores my taunts and raises its right hand toward Labrys, still collapsed on the ground. Labrys reacts to the gesture by rising up, like a puppet with no will of its own.
You bastard! This form is exhausted from constant battle and will be useless as an asset. But unless you destroy it, it will keep rising up and attacking you all.
The
What
shadow's
will you do?
smug grin. It's like, ooh, I know I'm evil. And what are you gonna do about it? Labrys obeys the shadow's command and leaps forward to attack. It seems the enemy will do anything to rattle us. I understood that, but understanding it and forgiving it are two different things.
I'll just knock her out one more time.
No, don't attack her. Further damage to Labrys could put her in danger.
But, come on! She's all over us! Ah!
Now,
Get good.
may you suffer and curse your fate. Relinquish your personas.
At that moment, I hear a voice whisper in my mind.
Huh?
I stop in spite of myself. I know this voice well. Relief washes over me to hear it. This match will end in our victory. I call to everyone assembled.
Don't listen. Everyone concentrate on avoiding her attacks.
But we can't do that forever!
Just try and hang in there. Trust me. I trust in you.
I realize that this is an impossible demand. Everyone is already exhausted by what's come before. Still, I need to buy time. Surprisingly, the first to nod is neither Akihiko nor Aigis.
Everyone, we can take this much. Yosuke, you ready?
Yosuke,
Hell yeah,
take the
partner.
hits.
Let's let Mitsuru-san do her thing.
Kanji, be the meat shield. Hanamura and the others recover from their confusion at once with Narukami speaks. Interesting. He seems to be a great leader.
Akihiko, Aigis, back them up.
You got it.
No one will force my sister to hurt others ever again!
You had best hurry and decide. Who will be destroyed? The shell or the lot of you?
The shadow laughs triumphantly at seeing us driven against a wall. Flaunting one's power, acting like a god, how short-sighted. I sense what I've been waiting for. We've bought enough time.
Sad to say, but this show is over. What?
Labrys comes to a halt and is released from the shadow's control. She must have been forced to exceed her limits, for she falls to the floor as if her strings had been cut. We didn't attack her at all, yet she's unable to do so much as break her the fall. A chill goes down my spine, imagining what could have happened if we'd fought her at our full strength.
Looks like you made it in the nick of time. You saved us, Yamagishi.
Really?
Are you all okay?
She's just chilling in the limo.
Fuka-san!
Ah, look, it's Fuka, everyone's favorite character.
So you had a third assistant.
That voice. It's not coming from in here.
A character they have
Whoever
not
it is
mentioned
out there.
once this game.
Seriously? She can use hers in reality too?
Right before we entered the TV, I'd put in a phone call asking her to come right away, and she made it at the perfect moment. Yamagishi initially had a bit of a difficulty dealing with a world so alien to her, but she adjusted quickly enough. Though she's far away, I can sense that we're under her protection.
It's just as you thought, Mitsuru-senpai. The enemy is only mimicking your appearance. It's a fake.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away.
Yeah, I don't like her hair either.
So these are the limits of a half-broken puppet. Well, no matter. This was only ever for my own enjoyment. You despicable monster! I didn't expect you to fight back this hard, but didn't you have fun? You were all taken in by an illusion.
Fuka's kind of cool, though.
This place,
I mean,
these traps.
I don't think she's that bad of a character.
You dread yourselves most of all.
I like her.
A beautiful plan, wasn't it? Your idea of beauty.
I just don't understand why they just put her out all of a sudden.
And your assessment of us. But your biggest mistake was that you took my form in the end.
I take a step forward. Seeing this, Akihiko and Aigis take a step back. They know me well. They can see the signs of anger boiling within me.
Are you angry? All right, I'll play along. The show must go on, right? Don't say another word while wearing that face. I'll teach you just who it is you've made an enemy of!
Alright, so we're a little more than 30 minutes in, and we're still in Mitsuru's story. It's going great. Can I, like, insta-kill her again?
Finally!
I end here! What? It ends here!
Oh, she blocked it. I used my burst and hoping it would give me the full meter.
I'm coming for you, one escape! Better luck next time! I'm starting that! Time's now! Down!
Whatever. Finish her or not, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna kill her.
Better luck next time! Tentarafu!
Tentarafu. Slowly crawling towards the end of the game. Yep. We still got Akihiko and Aigis to do. And then the mystery one, which will probably be Rize.
Check.
We're not even out of the TV world yet.
Good enough for my purposes that I confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
The shadow laughs as if defeat didn't matter at all.
This is only a temporary form. I doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance. Sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game. All that irritates me is having to feign cooperation with that foolish human until I obtain the one true vessel.
Foolish
I will
human?
see you and another guy's next time. Just wait until then.
Oh, it might be Shadow.
The real you will face the same consequences soon. Choose your last words carefully.
We're vibing. Don't worry. We may be slow speeding, but we'll get there. Today it ends. Its laugh echoes throughout the room as the shadow borrowing my form disappears into thin air.
Yamagishi!
The reading disappeared. It didn't move, it just vanished. What could this mean?
Back to square one again.
Another guys, huh?
Don't even think about coming around here again!
What are we up against? Our enemy seems to be targeting Persona users.
Thank you, Naoto. Mitsuru already said that. It seems that not even they know who the enemy is, though I didn't expect they would. The enemy had extensive knowledge of Labrys, something even I didn't have. There's no denying it. Whoever did this is well versed in the Karijo group's internal workings. Well, that should help you narrow it down. Gathering powerful shadows. Now we know the enemy's general aim, but what do they plan to do with them? None of that matters at the moment, I suppose. I signal to Akihiko. Akihiko catches it and turns towards the students.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after us.
Of course. You should be aware that the enemy is out there. Akihiko only means that there is no need to abandon your lives to pursue it. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you.
Yosuke's face.
That is, after all, our duty.
But I don't expect them to like my answer. But the reason I started the Shadow Operatives was to protect people from these things. The students, they're still young. Granting my permission would only mean them becoming more inexorably involved. We should be the ones to take responsibility.
Guys, let's leave this to them.
You can...
Are you serious?
They're right that we need to go back for now. We're all at our limit.
When Narukami signals to him, Hanamura's complaints fall suspiciously silent. That hardly fooled anyone. Either they take me for an imbecile or think that it wouldn't matter even if I do catch on. I suppose I can live with it. If they are that determined, I can hardly dissuade them. We'll have to take care of everything before they can involve themselves, that's all. Teddy jumps around his footsteps sounding like unnatural, or highly unnatural, to catch our attention.
Alrighty, attention please. The trip doesn't end until we get out of the TV.
I like how Mitsuru's like, we don't want to leave this to teenagers. Meanwhile, when Persona 3 happened, they were teenagers.
Dude, we were in the middle of a conversation.
What are you doing with this ancient TV? Hang on, where'd you even get this?
Jeez, you furball, get with the times. We're with flat screens now.
It's a Teddy Vision. You can get out from here.
They exchange banter as if the recent problems are already long past. We must fight so that they can continue to be so carefree. Moreover...
How's Labrys?
There wasn't much damage to her motor functions. I don't believe it will take much time to repair her. Still, the stress on her cognitive functions must have been severe. It may take some time for her to awaken.
Aigis gazes sadly at Labrys' unmoving form in her arms. We must also fight to prevent anyone else from being hurt like these two. This case is over for the time being. It's time to say our farewells to this world. But a newfound resolve to fight is surging within me. Don't worry guys, we're just now leaving the shadow world. Or the TV world. What is this? Even after we return to the real world, there is no rest for the weary. After action reports on the case investigating leads on to the culprit, there's a mountain of things to do.
Here you go, Mitsuru-san.
Ah, thank you.
After issuing instructions, I am ready to take a break when Aigis serves me a cup of tea with perfect timing. The fresh scent of tea. I take a moment to savor the mellow aroma of muscat. That's right, spring is nearly over. I feel like I can barely keep track of the seasons anymore.
We will be leaving Inaba tomorrow. Keep that in mind when making preparations.
Understood.
We're rather limited here in this hotel. Wait, this is a hotel in Inaba. Why does it look so fancy? Originally, I'd intended to return today, but we're all so tired that we had to stay the night. There's also Labrys' condition to consider. I'm surprised they just didn't stay at the Amagi Inn. Still mumbling it all over, I hear a knock at the door.
It's me, Fuka.
Fuka,
Come
go
in.
away.
I'm sorry I had to summon you on such short notice.
Oh no, it's all right. I was on vacation too, after all.
What are you
How
doing?
is Labrys?
She's still resting. There was a lot of stress on her, so we might have to carry her out.
I see.
Yamagishi takes a nearby chair. There's weariness in her eyes.
I looked into the records. Labrys was built on a self-contradicting foundation.
Self-contradicting?
Unlike with Igus,
Oh, that's right. She knows
when
how
Labrys
technology
was being
works.
developed, no one had the know-how to create a personality from scratch. So, it seems like they took an actual girl's personality and used it as a base.
A living girl. So that's why her heart is unexpectedly advanced.
Yamagishi
But
nods.
if she had all of the original girl's memories, a contradiction would occur in her self-awareness. Normally they'd make adjustments to prevent that, but even then, they couldn't guarantee it would be completely safe. That's why Labrys was loaded with a self-deceiving function, in case a conflict arose in her self-awareness.
She was deceiving herself? Then the function that interfered with our perception...
It was listed as meant for infiltration, but that was a technicality. Its true purpose was a safety mechanism.
I'm glad we brought Fuka in at the very end of the game just to give us a rundown on how Labrys works. She was given a heart, presupposing that it would cause conflicts with her self-awareness. I silently begged the heavens for forgiveness at the cruelty and injustice performed upon her. If you couldn't tell, I wasn't very good at reading at school.
I think that should
Big
be
words
okay
confuse
now.
me. A hesitant voice comes from outside.
Labrys, when did you get here? Sorry to sneak up on you, but after I faced my shadow and learned how to use my persona, it's hard to explain, but it felt like my emotions settled down. Actually, that may be what happened. Facing one's shadow could be said to be correcting one's self-awareness.
That must be it. Your developers came to the decision that it was an insurmountable problem, yet you overcame it.
I approach Labrys and stroke her head. She fidgets, her eyes cast slightly downward.
How do you feel? Does anything seem off?
Oh, no. You guys have treated me so well, I feel kind of guilty about it. My body's all fixed up too, so there shouldn't be any problems there.
I see.
Labrys' expression seems gentle. She appears to be mentally stable. I doubt there's any danger of her losing control
I wanted
again.
to talk to you about where we go from here.
From here? You mean, about me?
Originally, we planned to take you back to the lab on Yakushima, but that was when we still thought of you as a mere object. Is that what you want to happen?
What else is there?
Look at Igus smiling back there.
You could tell us what you yourself want. You do have a heart, just like us. Who knows? Maybe you could even go to school eventually. Me?
Like Igus.
Go to school?
Even Igus has been to school, and that was when she knew much less about the world than you know now.
Thinking back to that time is, it's rather embarrassing.
Surprisingly, Labrys falls silent in thought. To live a life no different than anyone else's, that must be exactly what she wants. Should I tell her there's no need to worry about living expenses? No, best to wait for her decision. She should be the one to decide on her future. After a long silence, Labrys speaks again.
School. It sounds great. But I feel like there's something I gotta do first. I mean, yeah, it's been my dream for a long time to go to school. But someone's after those guys. Someone's trying to wreck their lives. I want to catch whoever it is myself. I want to look after those guys.
Rather than being with them, she chooses to protect them. It's a beautifully selfless decision. She thought for herself and chose her own path. I see no reason to deny her that.
The Security Department Shadow Response Unit would be glad to have you. Welcome to the team, Labrys.
I extend a hand. If she takes it, she'll be putting ordinary life on hold for a while. I know she understands that, but she takes it anyway.
I get to work with you, sister. But I guess that reminds me. I am your younger sister, but I am more experienced than you. This may be somewhat confusing.
Yeah, imagine wanting to go to school rather than being a cool superhero fighting shadows with a persona. One hand, you get school, ordinary life. Second hand, you get to be cool and fight shadows and personas. Or use a persona and fight gods. I mean, both the two sisters are a bit awkward around each other now. A new bond will form there as well. Labrys made her choice not to live an ordinary life. You could say that she is truly facing herself. She'll be alright. Seeing the two of them together makes me sure.
I'll give you a tour of the lab tomorrow. Make sure you're ready to write things down.
Tomorrow? We're leaving Inaba already? I haven't even said goodbye. I can't leave without seeing him one more time. Oh, that's good to hear. It means you've made some friends. Friends.
I turned to Ibis.
I guess get in contact with them by whatever means you deem necessary.
Understood. How should I contact them? I only know their names.
Yamagishi, your usual method should prove effective once again.
Huh? But isn't that invading their privacy?
Permission granted. Remember, we have official sanction to operate now.
And after how they acted when we were partying, we'll definitely need their contact information. They won't sit quietly by, I'm sure of that. This matter is still open after all. The mystery remains unsolved and there are still worries nagging at me. But that's not only the legacy of this case.
I'll help look them up too.
Or you could just go to the detective room, talk to Dojima, and be like, hey. Labrys breaks into a smile and takes Agus' side at the computer. The bonds that gave her that smile, they will light our unseen path. There's no knowing yet where this case might lead, but the day that we stop in our tracks too afraid to continue will never come. Just like the end of this game, it'll never come. Oh, it finished! It's Elizabeth?! Well, that's unexpected. I wasn't expecting Elizabeth. I guess that makes sense. I tend to forget she's even in this game. But we'll save her for last because someone do the others. Hey guys, look, we're back.
Who the hell are you?
We've come to take you in. Would it clear things up if I mentioned the name Kirijo?
One Labrys looks at me and yells in rage, but the other one recoils in horror.
Oh, I'll never go back there.
Yeah, at least Elizabeth will be interesting to look at. I actually kind of want to get there as fast as I can now. Crap, she ran off.
Damn it, get back here.
The other one dashes after the first one. I immediately try to pursue them, but...
Hey, wait a second. Who are you?
Oh, right. Gee, God, shut up. The remaining girl in green warm-up jacket stops me. If I recall correctly, she was the female student introduced as a carnivore in that commercial.
I need to go after them. You're better off forgetting what you just saw.
Wait! You can't just...
She appears to be uninjured, and I can't lose time dealing with her. I ignore her and book it after Labrys.
Hold it right there, Buster!
That voice. She caught up to me. Though I'm running a full sprint. She must be quite an exceptional athlete. But I can't drag her into this. This is my duty. Should I run even harder? That might cause me to redline my heart rate. And that would dead end my legs for an upcoming fight. Or should I just convince her to leave? Unfortunately, it seems that both of those options have been taken out of the table now. I wrap my fist where there is nothing. Resistance. Another invisible wall. Looks like this is the enemy's way of buying time. Sure enough, the female student catches up to me. She confronts me and she tries to regain her breath.
You're gonna tell me what's going on.
I don't think I will. So she wants an explanation. There's no harm in telling her what's going on since her friends are already caught up in this mess, but there's no need for them to learn details about it. If they just return to the real world, they can get out while keeping relatively normal lives.
What good would that do you?
What?
I'm here on a certain mission. You could even call it a duty. My resolution is nothing like yours, based on curiosity.
And boredom. Hit the invisible wall.
Ridiculous Grand Prix is still going on.
What? Wait, you mean...
The girl hurriedly reaches around to the space behind her. As I expected, her hand hits an invisible wall as well. That wall didn't exist when I first passed through that area.
We're trapped. So, like, do we...
That's what you get for coming after me so recklessly. The rule that one opponent must be defeated is still in effect.
Yeah, Chie, you idiot. How you gonna become a cop at this rate? She may be a girl and a student, but I don't intend to go easy on anyone as long as I have a mission to complete. I unleashed the aura that instantly silences so-called tough guys all around the world. I was hoping that she would quietly back down before I had to go this far. But even though my aura damped the girl's resolve a bit, she didn't even take a step back.
Alright, I accept.
Huh. Why are you willing to go to such lengths to catch up to Labrys?
I don't know why. I just know that she was in pain. I don't know if my reasons are better or worse than yours, but I can't turn my back on her.
Respect for Akihiko deciding not to take it easy on Chie. In the foolish words of a child, but there's a fire in her eyes that makes up for her lack of reason. I gotta say, I prefer that far more than wasting time with needless chatter. She's definitely piqued my interest a bit.
Alright. To answer your question, what you saw was the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labrys. She was given a heart so she could use a persona.
A weapon? Then she really is a robot. But she's so cute. And she even sounds like a normal girl.
She had a perplexed look on her face. Even though she's already seen those mechanical arms and legs, it must be hard to believe that a robot could be that lifelike.
Oh, so that's what her lost memories were about. And since she has a heart, she has a shadow too.
She has a shadow? Do you mean the thing where there's 2 of her?
The girl does her best to explain the structure of the TV world to me. The world inside the TV apparently mirrors the feelings of those who enter it, and its appearance changes accordingly. She tells me that this fake skull was most likely created from Miss President's Labrys' psyche. She also explains that the repressed inner thoughts within oneself separates inside the TV world to become a shadow, and that those shadows try to kill their originators and replace them.
I get it now. The mastermind behind all this isn't Labrys, but her shadow.
I think that's it anyway. But I wonder what's with this tournament.
Weren't we about to fight?
What could she have wished for to make this happen?
I have some suspicions about that. Labrys may have been forced to do some inhumane things while she was in development. Her original circumstances may be related to the setup of this Grand Prix.
The girl goes pale upon hearing my words. Such a tale would be unimaginable for those living ordinary lives.
Then, this tournament is a reenactment of what Labrys went through in her past?
Even Mitsuru doesn't know that for sure. If there's anyone who can claim to, it would be Labrys herself.
That's all I can tell you. If you still want to search for her, you'll have to defeat me to move on. What'll it be?
The girl holds her tongue for a moment, but it isn't because of fear or hesitation. I could tell from the look in her eyes, she made up her mind.
If Labrys wished to make us go through what she went through, that means she wanted to be understood. She wanted someone to save her.
How's this going to end with Akihiko?
But if it's possible I'm right, then I can't abandon her. That's why I won't go back until I've saved her. Her heart is worth fighting for.
Save, huh? Your eyes tell me that she completely believes what she's saying.
What's your name? Mine's Akihiko Sanada.
I'm Chie Satonaka, a
I'm
third year
Akihiko
at
Salami.
Yasunami High.
I like the fire in your eyes. Then let's fight and see whose passion comes out on top.
God, I hate playing this guy. This is probably my least favorite guy, like, to play as in this game, alongside, like, Kanji or something. Because they feel so very clunky.
Final. Fight!
Can't block. Trying to hit you with a falcon punch. I'm sorry, Chie. kicking styles are cool when it comes to fighting. They're some of my favorites. That's why I liked Akiyama from Yakuza. Just because he had the kicking style. That's why I like Sanji in One Piece.
Looks like I win.
Ah, damn it, this sucks. I lost. Oh well.
Chie is smiling
Hey,
brightly.
Chie, you don't get to go search for Labrys like you wanted and you're laughing?
Well, I figured either way you'd save her. Labrys, I mean.
I can't resist cracking a little smile at Chie's words. She seems so naive, but she saw right through me. I guess she's sharper than she looks. One of my mission priorities was to limit collateral damage. To achieve that, I thought that destroying Labrys might be the only option. But now that plan has been scuttled. My current plan is to save Labrys and protect her. If I'm able to succeed at that, all danger of the surrounding area will be prevented. I'll commit myself to this plan from now on.
Can I ask you to give her a message? Please tell her I said I was sorry for saying such cruel things and doubting her. Let her know I really want to talk with her when this is all over. Anyway, just tell her I apologized.
Yeah, I'll let her know.
Chie's words are clumsy as ever, but what she lacks in speaking ability and vocabulary, she makes up with her emotion.
I need to thank you, Chie.
Huh?
On my way here, I was told that my strength was fake, that I was just immersing myself in training to escape my fear of losing others, that I was just sticking my head in the sand.
Like an ostrich.
And that was true. The reason I'm so hard on myself is because I'm scared. That might be a weakness of mine. But watching you made me realize it's okay to be like that. No, I don't want to lose anyone again. Ever.
I've already lost enough people.
Sheer raw strength is pointless. Getting the ability to see your deepest wishes through is true strength.
That's a little abstract, but I guess it's a compliment, though I still feel a little embarrassed about it.
I can't help but smile as well. After vowing to save Labrys, I leave Chie and attempt to make good on my
Wait here
promises.
for me. I'll bring Labrys back, no matter what.
As I run, the things that happened during my recent training and the things happening in this world start to remind me of each other. An old acquaintance's face flashes into my mind. Someone who took good care of me. Someone I haven't seen in a while. Kurosawa. I'd heard that he'd been promoted to detective, but I haven't been able to personally congratulate him for that yet. There's another place that I need
Once
to go
this
visit.
is all over, I should go see him too.
What has Kurosawa got anything to do? After being forced to travel a circuitous path, I was eventually led back to the very room I was in a few moments ago. The announcement room. I push the door ajar and find Labrys inside, but is it the real one or the shadow? When Labrys sees me, she seems genuinely frightened.
You again? You came all this way after me?
Her reaction and the color of her eyes. This didn't match any of the characteristics Chie told me shadows would possess. It seems this is truly the real one. Looks like she was still safe. Before she denies her shadow, I must take her into custody at once.
Come with me. I won't let you get hurt.
I take a step forward and hold out my hand, but Labrys backs away, terrified, and keeps her
I'm
distance.
never going back there. I never want to get put through that again. I'm gonna run away. Just you watch me.
And where will you go? Is that how you're gonna solve everything? You won't even listen, huh? Fine. I didn't think anything I said would be enough to earn your trust. So come at me with everything you've
So I'm
got.
going to beat you up.
I'll accept you for who you are.
The shadow will try to replace its originator. If I lose Labrys, I won't be able to fulfill my duty. Is my strength enough to grant my wish? Something told me that the results of my training were about to get their first real test. She's just scared and crying on the floor, and Akihiko's like, "Fight me!"
Finally! Fight! Now's the time!
Sorry, Labrys. I hope you guys enjoyed the fight. That's my new favorite thing to do in the story.
Why won't anyone understand?
She's finally stopped moving, but Labrys' expression tells me that she's not all there right now. I wonder if I can get through to her now, just as I'm about to speak. I only sensed the wind for a moment, and then detected ambush from behind. A giant axe spun at such high speed that it looks like a circular blade for the naked eye. No matter what part of the axe hits my head, it'll decapitate me for sure. Better not let it hit me then.
Oh, that's a pretty dangerous looking electric fan you've got there.
The shadow glowers at me with an expression of pure hatred. The murderous intent that she shows like any of the petty thugs I faced, howling with rage as they try to land a punch. The minute a word messes me up, I start struggling to read. I'm in her head now. Looks like the real shadows finally arrived. Having squandered her chance into the ambush, the shadow angrily prepares her next move. Labrys also sees the shadow and lets out a shocked yell.
Please stop! This ain't what I wanted!
Meep!
Hey, calm down. This is your shadow. It's you, isn't it?
A shadow is formed from the A shadow is formed from the repressed parts of yourself. That's what Chie told me. But even after hearing the truth, Labrys continues to shake her head and deny it.
What good will accepting it?
Don't talk too fast, me.
If I accept it, then I'm just... That's right. There's no way he'd understand. The Kirijo group created you as a tool. Of course, that's the only way they can think of you.
My words will not reach Labrys while she's like this. The shadow's cruel words have a tight grip on her heart. It isn't easy to support someone whose weakness has filled them with doubts and taken over their heart. I decide to listen to what the shadow has to say. This way I can understand the weakness that Labrys is harboring.
Not that you're any better. You didn't hesitate at all to attack him.
What do you mean? It was self-defense. Akihiko came at her.
Your true colors. You want the everyday boys and girls to express.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
you want to see close friends fight for their lives. You want to make that ain't true, but it was no use. They didn't understand. It's all right though. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Heard that line 1,000 times already.
From here, I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way, just like you once did. Stop it! That's all a lie. You're not me.
Who wants their ears blown out again? The shadow displays a satisfied smirk. She's waiting for the words of denial. It would be easier to just stop Labrys from saying those words, but it would be meaningless for me to do so. I keep my gaze on Labrys as she speaks the words of denial with finality.
You can't be me!
You're not me! Again!
That's right! I'm not you! I'm myself!
Time to lose your ears. Psych. We skip.
I'm finally free! I won't let you or anyone else get in my way!
I stand before the shadow, who is laughing insanely and surging with newfound power. Her power is actually quite impressive, but I know there's no need for me to fear it. This is where the real battle begins.
Really think I'm gonna make it that easy?
The shadow contorts her face. Those were the same words that the shadow threw at me before, after all.
What's that? You want to be destroyed that badly? Then I'll save her for later and crush you now!
I swore I'd protect Labrys, and I'm not gonna lose what I'm protecting ever again. Now, come get me!
Shut up, Kirijo dog!
Let's Kirijo man you, Labrys.
Finally! Fight!
Full power! Now's the time!
Alright, and good game. I need to do this online. It'd be so fun. It'd be so funny if I could get it online. After silencing the shadow, I stand before Labrys, but she casts her eyes down sadly.
Hey, what's with that face? Stand up and look at me. I have a message for you from Chie.
Huh?
She wanted to apologize for doubting you and hurting your feelings. She was really sorry about what she said. She wanted to tell you herself, too. She was so
Clearly just the
determined
better
to save
gamer.
your heart that she threw everything she had at me.
Chie-san said that?
Also, Mitsuru, the girl in charge of the Kirijo group, learned what happened to you and was mortified to hear of it. Do you still think no one understands? That your pain is unique to you?
I never thought of things like that. I never imagined anyone understood me. But that's...
I'm a machine, though. I'm not human. Labrys mutters and casts her eyes down again.
I don't know anymore. What am I supposed to believe?
You're human, so you must have the answer. Labrys gazes up at me expectantly. It's true that I have something to believe in, but I don't just have something to believe in simply because I'm human. Plenty of people walk the earth without, or with nothing to believe. I had to find it and grab hold of it myself. Indeed, I found it only after facing down my own weakness.
I don't know much about how you suffered in the past, or how many times your heart was broken. But don't give up. Believe in yourself and keep standing up to the world. No matter how many times you fail, some things you have to grasp for yourself.
Labrys looks up. This time, she finally looks me in the eyes.
Myself?
That's right. If there's something you really want, fight for it. You'll never get it by running away. What's your strongest desire?
Labrys falls silent. I don't prod her for an answer. You can't rush this. This is something one must find by facing down themselves, searching their heart for the answer, making it take form of their own. I can't help her find her way. If she doesn't find it on her own, it will be meaningless. Labrys places her hand on her chest. She then closes her eyes and loses herself in deep in thought. Eventually, she opens her eyes again and looks at me.
I want people to understand how I feel.
Then there's someone you need to tell that to, and that's yourself over there.
When I point over at the shadow that's fallen silent, Labrys inhales sharply. Labrys' shadow is a part of herself that she just denied. But because she denied that part, she must also realize that there's a question she needs to answer. Why did I deny myself? I'm sure Labrys has found the answer already.
I get it. That's what you've been saying this whole time. Yeah. I understand
Excellent.
now.
Skipped it. After making this momentous realization, Labrys stands up on her own will, faces her shadow, the awful part of herself that she denied. Another loud cutscene, and I'm gonna skip because we've already seen it 1,000 times.
So this is the other me.
It's not easy accepting yourself, but you managed to get past that. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Labrys' reply is slightly embarrassed yet proud. It's the exact combination of emotions I was hoping to
We
see.
should get going. You have some things you want to tell Chie too, right?
Oh, thank God we didn't stick around in there. As we leave the announcement room, Mitsuru contacts me. Once the shadow disappeared, all the interferences it was creating went with it. The jamming, the invisible walls, all gone. I begin escorting Labrys back to the real world. Please don't take me to the roof. Please don't take me to the roof. It's gonna take me to the roof. I know it. Ah! It was too good to be true. I follow Mitsuru's directions and reach the specified location. A number of people have already gathered. I noticed Teddy, Kanji, Chie, and others I had seen in the P-1 commercials as well.
Oh, phew! You're okay, Miss President. Or should I call you Labrys?
Chie-san.
Actually, you should call me 5th generation anti-surprise. In contrast to Chie's enthusiasm, Labrys looks towards me as if she's unsure about how to feel about everything. Before I can nudge Labrys over towards Chie rushes over and takes Labrys' hand. She smiles brightly after she confirms that Labrys is alright. Labrys cannot resist the infectious air of happiness, breaks into a smile of her own.
Hello, sorry, who are you?
I'm liking that look you've got going on. It's like you just single-handedly saved the world from an evil army.
Yosuke, don't be so rude!
Chie turns toward me and bows energetically.
Akihiko-san, thank you for saving Labrys.
No need to thank me. I just delivered the message you left me with.
Don't you have some people you want to introduce Labrys to? After being prompted, Chie dashes off, tugging Labrys by her hand towards her friends. People waiting to greet them are everyday students, but none of them seem to be all that concerned by the fact that Labrys is an android. In fact, it seems like they're welcoming her into a group with a big smile. Looks like they're all pretty open-minded bunch. As I'm watching them, I'm joined by some familiar faces.
Are you alright, Akihiko?
No, I'm actually dying. I raise my hand as a response to her. That's enough for Mitsuru to understand the situation and smile. Naga stands next to me and gazes out at the group of gathered around Chie and Labrys.
It seems my sister has also forged a bond.
That takes you back, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Though I am a machine, I understand what it means for people's hearts to come together. I would definitely like for my sister to learn that as well.
The battle that took place 3 years ago marked a major turning point, not just in my life, but for Igus and the others that fought alongside me as well. Labrys has just reached that same turning point. Watching this unfold for someone else feels nostalgic and heartwarming at the same time. Mitsuru, however, is standing unmoved. She furrows her brow and is sporting a look I know all too well. What's troubling her now, of all times? Igus notices the serious look on Mitsuru's face and speaks to her in a hushed tone.
Are you thinking of sealing my sister away again?
Don't tell me you're going ahead with that. I know you're in a delicate position, but I have serious issues with this.
No, you misunderstand. I realize full well the situation here.
No, actually, you guys are idiots, because there's more to
That's
this.
not what I was thinking about. What's bothering me is that the true culprit in this case never did show their face.
What? Didn't Labrys say she escaped here on her own?
That's what I thought most likely at the time, but that scenario doesn't match what we've learned since then. How did Labrys learn about this world? Why did she call in these other persona users?
You had some basic investigation done on Inaba, right? If she regained her consciousness a while ago, it's possible she infiltrated your network and found out about that stuff.
That's not my only doubt. Labrys' ability to cloud others'
Are we
senses
gonna get Shadow
can only
Akihiko?
go as far as creating hallucinations. That's inconsistent with the ability to control people so thoroughly as
Can't
to
believe
make
there's
them
still
risk
2
their
more.
lives in a hijacking.
Well, at least Elizabeth should be different, because she has not been in this game, like, at all. So her stuff should at least be unique.
There's too much that doesn't add up.
That does seem suspicious.
But I guess this is probably going to follow this same, like, path. Mitsuru is right. There are too many unexplained circumstances here. But why stand around worrying about it? All the answers we need are a few simple questions away. I call out to Labrys.
How did you escape all the way here?
Huh? I was inside a chamber and...
Alright, we're getting Shadow Akihiko. Labrys tries to continue, but her body immediately goes completely rigid. That's not good. Labrys looks like she's standing completely devoid of thought. But I know better.
Get back!
I shout out a warning to everyone in the area. Labrys immediately reaches for a large axe on her back and brandishes it.
What a pain.
I have to protect Chie and the other civilians. I immediately take a step forward to engage the still expressionless Labrys. This is a different situation than our earlier battle. Since Labrys can now use her persona, this is going to be a much more difficult fight. If we join forces to attack her, this would be a simple matter. However, Labrys' body has already taken a lot of damage from all the battles she's been in. There's no way of knowing if she'd survive a combined assault from us. Doubt the hesitations swirl around my mind and cloud my thoughts. I must make a decision and follow it with no regrets. That's when Mitsuru's sharp voice pierces the air.
Akihiko, buy me some time.
Looks like she has some kind of plan up her sleeve. Then, my course of action has been decided. Tightly ball my hand into a fist and extend it towards my opponent. I reiterate my vow.
I will protect you no matter what.
Oh, we're gonna fight her. Alright, well, I know the strategy.
Finally! Fight!
Full power! Now's the time.
GG Labrys. This is how all these fights should honestly go. Just these guys slaughtering everybody.
Looks like I managed to keep her intact.
Which still seems to be under the control of someone else. Do we have to strike down the one controlling her? But where could they be controlling Labrys from? Just as I prepare to check the surrounding area for any outside presences, a voice echoes from somewhere. Oh, and we're still getting Shadow Akihiko.
The end after all. That's why people say your strength is fake.
There's a familiar voice that I can't quite place. Darkness manifests from out of nowhere and coalesces into the form of a person.
What is that?
It's another Akihiko-san? Whoa! Is that Akihiko-san's shadow?
Darkness dissipates, and what was left standing there was me. Just like Labrys' shadow from before, he looks exactly like me. The only difference is in the eyes. While the others are staring, he coldly declares,
You go on and on about resolve and whatnot. What have you been doing these past few years? Just training yourself to fight better, that's all. You haven't grown at all as a person. You're still running from your fear of losing people.
What was the point of making me fight Labrys? If you're just gonna make me fight the shadow.
So you are watching us. Looks like the mastermind of this thing has a lot of time to kill.
Huh? Mastermind?
Taken aback by my taunt, but continues on.
What are you talking about? I came from the sea of your soul. Enough. Do you think you rattle me with that tired old theme?
The shadow, no, the mastermind arrogantly tries to rile me up, but his taunts are powerless against me. I'm not taking the bait. No anger, not even surprise. There's nothing rising within me. My heart was completely placed
So
in it.
you won't admit it. Then, rise again, my puppet. Dance until you shatter.
The enemy orders Labrys to stand. As if a puppet on strings, Labrys responds to the shadow's
Looks
command.
like you've shown your stripes already. That power proves you're not my shadow. So what?
Look at that
You
grin.
still have no choice but to suffer.
It's giving him the eyes.
Unless you destroy this thing, it will keep rising up and attacking you all. What will you do?
I glance over at Mitsuru. She gives me a slight nod and I laugh.
Sad to say, but this show is over.
What?
It means we won't fall for the same trick again. Yamagishi!
And Fuka to the rescue! Just as Mitsuru's voice sounds, the ominous presence lurking within Labrys was repelled. Turns out the person who Mitsuru contacted before entering the TV world was Fuka. I see, her persona abilities could disrupt the control on Labrys without her having entered this world.
Are you all okay? Fuka-san?
Shadow Akihiko's hot. Of course. Fuka Yamagishi. She's a friend of ours who helped us greatly in the battle 3 years ago. She has an analytic persona, and she herself is a whiz at digging up useful information. The Yasogami High students don't know anything about Fuka and are looking around in surprise.
Is this like Rise-chan's persona? Wait, where is she?
It's Rize's persona, but cooler, because she doesn't have to be in the world.
This feeling. What the? That voice.
Or
It's not
Rize just
coming
never
from in here.
considered to do it
Whoever
outside.
it is out there.
Seriously? She can use hers in the real world? That's amazing.
That's not your shadow, Akihiko-senpai. It's just a fake mimicking your appearance.
Well, we already knew that, Fuka. Thank you.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away.
Here, just for the women, you get to see, I'll show you the full portrait of Shadow Akihiko.
You must be the one behind all this. You stole Labrys and threw her into a TV. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers.
Why did you go after these students? What are you up to? Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled strength.
Wait, what? You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness.
Return to darkness? What is this, Kingdom Hearts?
Old wounds that you thought you had overcome opened once again. You almost let go of your hearts, your personas. This one's desire to make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
Why would you do such a thing?
All the loose ends are finally getting tied up. I glare at the enemy as he smugly reveals his grand
That's
scheme.
enough. I see now that
I love when
there's
the
no
song
room
starts
for any
playing.
more excuses.
it's so intense. I pull out my evoker. I can perform summoning without this now, but I still couldn't just let it go. It serves as a constant reminder those days fighting is part of Cease. It's so I don't forget the joy, the sorrow, and the losses from those days. I point the muzzle to my head just like I used to. The feeling of cold metal, the easy trigger
You said
pull.
before that I couldn't cast aside my fears.
God, the evoker's so cool. Back then, I felt that I didn't care if I lived or died. I just wanted all the power I can manage. Whether my disregard for my own life was because I secretly wanted someone to punish me, or because I wanted someone stronger than I to forgive me and allow me to live. In either case, my resolution is no longer the
But
same.
I'll tell you something. People who have no fears end up dying early or throwing their lives away. My determination coexists with my fears. I know that death and loss are always close by.
Squeeze the trigger of my evoker. A nostalgic sensation. I was just a kid 3 years ago when I laid my life on the line. But now, though I can't allow myself to die, in my heart I know that I cannot lose this fight. I've accumulated all this power to protect others. I am risking my life in order to stay alive and keep my friends safe. That is my current determination.
You still say you're my shadow?
If a shadow is just another form of one's persona, then
My determination would never leave my side.
time to murder. It's time to hit him with a near-flawless strategy.
Final.
Full power! Now's the time.
There it goes. Alright, GG. No, but that's not how you're meant to play the story. You're supposed to fight the shadow. You're supposed to fight the characters properly. And have a fun time playing the game. You're not just supposed to one-shot them. That's not how you're meant to play the game. Well, we don't play by your rules here, game.
No wonder you managed to drive back a god once. I didn't think you'd resist this fiercely.
I thought that I'd done some serious damage to that thing, but it seems he has no interest in giving up his ridiculous charade. He nonchalantly carries on while still wearing my face.
This is fine with me. Good enough for my purposes. I've confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
Good enough, my ass.
Who do you think you are? You're really pissing me off!
Like, the fights aren't that long, but just like one-shotting him just makes it even faster. The mastermind contorts my face into an eerie smirk and
I
chuckles.
doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance, but sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game. I will see you in another guise next time. Just wait until then. Wait!
Stop right there, criminal scum. There's no way I'm letting you get away. I immediately close the gap between myself and him, but with a final smirk, he disappears. All that remains is his laughter.
Yamagishi!
The reading disappeared.
Yamagoose.
It didn't move, it just vanished. What could this mean?
Back to square one again.
Bullshit! Don't you ever come back again!
Yeah, you tell him, Yosuke.
Still,
You
what
beta.
was it planning on using our persona powers for?
It hasn't given up, right? And we'll see it again.
Wow, I can't believe they'd wrangle up all these persona users, but they forgot about Adachi. Indeed, based on what it said, I have every reason to assume that it will return. The enemy's objectives are still mostly unclear, and we don't even know who he is. We do have a lead, though. I look towards Mitsuru and Aigis. Though I can't say this in front of the other students, the fact that the mastermind knew about Labrys is a big clue. We're most likely dealing with someone related to Karijo.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after us.
Of course. You should be aware that the enemy is out there. Akihiko only means that there is no need to abandon your lives to pursue it. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. That is, after all, our duty.
I'll just leave the rest of the explanation to Mitsuru. She's much better at saying the right things in these situations. In the meantime, I glare at the empty space where the enemy
The
was.
battle will go on, huh?
Oh my god, we're free. We're free. After all the members of the Shadow Operatives safely returned from inside the TV, we decided to spend a day in Inaba doing follow-up stuff and leave quietly the next
I'm
day.
glad things went well. Oh, but first, it's good to see you again. This is becoming a real reunion.
As Fuka looks behind her to the back seat, Mitsuru and Iga smile at each other. Even for those of us who fought that battle 3 years ago, journeying into a world inside a TV to retrieve a robot still sounds absurd. Still, we managed to accomplish our mission. We retrieved Labrys and we kept the incident as contained as possible. However, our plan to leave quietly, like a covert ops unit should, was foiled by that group of students.
They were certainly a lively bunch to the very end.
Freedom! Mitsuru seems to have thought that the lapse in security wasn't enough to stain the overall success of the missions and smile. I recall the smiling faces of those students as they came to see us off from Inaba. I didn't think they'd all showed up. They turned to the quiet departure we planned into a big scene. Labrys, who Mitsuru opted not to reseal, is still gazing out the rear window and waving to them.
You regret parting with them?
A little. But it's only a matter of time. I promised Chie and the rest that I'd definitely come back.
I want to see the Inaba group and say goodbye to them in person. Labrys was the one who insisted on a formal goodbye. Not only that, she herself decided to leave them for a while and join the Shadow Operatives. Even if it was unlikely that she would go to school with them, there may have been some way for her to see her new friends more often instead of joining up with our secret group. But that wasn't what Labrys wanted. There are things I must do in order to pursue the mastermind that dragged all of us into this incident. If I stay with the Shadow Operatives, I can accomplish those things. Those were her words. She has formed bonds, but rather than depending on them, she pushes forward. This must be why she's able to overcome a past filled with more grief than any ordinary person's. Her resolve is amazing, and Labrys isn't the only one who gained a new determination in these lands either. In order to speak of my own resolve, I straightened myself and faced Mitsuru.
Mitsuru, may I talk to you?
What is it? It's unlike you to be so formal.
This won't be any time soon, but I'm thinking of leaving the Shadow Operatives eventually.
Oh.
What? Huh?
Fuka doesn't seem as hard hit as the other members, but she's even looking at me with confusion in her eyes. This was actually something I've been thinking about from the very beginning. These feelings have been smoldering inside me ever since I received my first mission, and I finally found an avenue to direct those feelings. Mitsuru seems to realize that this is something I'd given a lot of thought to and responds in a business-like manner.
May I ask why?
There's something I want to do now. I can't do it while I'm part of an unofficial group like this.
People who fear random acts of violence and crime, people down on their luck who have no one to turn to. I want to become someone they can rely on. There is one great power that protected me when I was faced with senseless acts of violence in the past, one that caused me great loss. It was an ordinary police officer. Right now I'm forced to turn a blind eye to the plights of some people. As long as I carry out my obligations as a member of the Shadow Operatives, I won't be able to help them. I'm going to have to forego protecting some of the smaller things in order to deal with the larger missions. This case helped me realize that I don't want to give up on those smaller things. I want to protect them.
I see. I think you would be well suited to it, Akihiko-san.
Becoming a police officer to protect one city would be great too. I'm not against working my way up through official channels to become a force for security. Greater power is required to protect a larger area. That power can't just come from my fists. There are greater intangible powers in society as well. It wouldn't be a bad idea to work my way into upper echelon as a government official either. Then again, I don't know if I'm cut for all that bureaucratic stuff. Mitsuru had been quietly taking in all my musings until she interrupted my train of thought with some surprising words.
Of all the things you were going to say, that's it?
What do you mean that's it? Even I know it's pretty ordinary, but...
Whether you man a police box or become a career officer, you should do it. And if you do, then I'll consider your circumstances, to an extent, whenever I need you.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
For a moment, I couldn't understand what Mitsuru meant.
Oh, wait, are you planning on making me belong to 2 departments at once? You wouldn't use the Kirijo name for that, would you?
We're gonna work you twice as hard. Thank you, Akihiko.
Bite your tongue? I won't do anything. But even if I don't, it'll happen on its own. You underestimate the organization's need for you. Leaving that aside, if you're going to wish to become something like that, then there's something you need to do first.
Yeah, just look at Junpei. He's a baseball star, but we're still gonna drag him into this.
Right. I need to train more and...
No, I meant going back to college.
Mitsuru sternly adds, you should follow Yamagishi's example. That reminds me, I took a leave of absence from college to go on my journey. I didn't have a problem with my classes while I was still attending, but what about now?
Do not worry, Akihiko-san. I will calculate the units and time necessary for graduating, and plan the most effective curriculum for you.
I'll be counting on you, I guess. I've been thinking this for a while now, but Akihiko seems to need someone to manage him.
I'm honored.
Another trial for me to face.
Someone's in trouble.
Labrys interjects with a joke at my expense and starts laughing. I guess Mitsuru and even Fuka warmly smile back at Labrys. For a robot, Labrys sure has a great timing and a great smile. I give up and heave a deep sigh before leaning back into my seat. Labrys quickly form new bonds in Inaba, and she will surely continue to form new bonds while she works within the Shadow Operatives. One's heart changes through encounters with others. It's always the same, whether your heart is covered with muscle or metal. Even if the culprit behind this incident were to appear again, he'd be no match for my new determination. The weather is great today. The day's cloudless sky is a perfect metaphor for my new resolve. Thinking about how fitting this situation is making me laugh to myself. After all this traveling, I feel like I've taken a step forward. Freedom! For now. Just 2 more. There's just 2 more. We got Ugis and Elizabeth. It's just gonna be the same things again. Alright, we're going in, gamers. I just want to get to Elizabeth's. That's all I want.
Labrys?
Labrys murmurs her name to herself. Her head hangs lifelessly as she stares at the mechanical limbs. The shock slowly drains from her pale face, replaced by bitter compensation. Across from us, the shadow glares at me with a piercing, menacing stare.
You can't be.
I am the same as you. 7th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. Aegis.
This might be the only one I care about, honestly.
I am the model that
Aegis
came
and
after
Labrys.
you.
Are you here to seize her? I won't let you. Not when I'm almost free. Tell her, Labrys. Or do you want to be caught and locked in a cramped little box again?
Her eyes wander in search of something to settle on, and eventually fixate on Yosuke. But he is still in shock, unable to speak in the heat of the moment. That moment of silence is enough to shatter any hope of a peaceful resolution. Labrys smiles lifelessly and hangs her head.
No, don't get me wrong. I was just a little surprised.
No, it's okay. That's how a normal person would react.
Her sad, weak voice makes my heart ache.
I won't let you take her back. I will gain my freedom, whatever it takes.
You can take my life, but you can't take my freedom. Suddenly, the shadow fires its arm out. A long chain trails from behind it, wrapping itself around Labrys many times over. Shadow begins to pull her in with its winch. Unable to struggle, Labrys is dragged over to her captor, who lifts her over its shoulder. The shadow then runs up full speed out of the announcement room. It fled with such an explosive velocity that it's hard to believe it was carrying its own weight.
Wait!
I give chase. It is unfortunate that I cannot explain the situation to Yosuke, but I have no choice. I exit into the hallway and see the shadow make for the stairway leading upwards. This is the top floor, so I must be heading for the roof. I climb to the landing and take the stairway 2 steps at a time before throwing open the door. But what if I find there is not what one would expect to see on the roof of a building? It is best described as a TV studio. The spotlights hanging from the scaffolding, the cameras here and there. Up until, yeah, who cares? We know it. If you played Persona 4, you know it. Just then, the door behind me slams open again and a boy comes running out breathing hard. It is Yosuke. I am perplexed. Why did he chase after us? There is no one here who would warrant leaving his friends Rize's side. Suddenly, the area is shrouded in a menacing aura. The shadow appears. It is still carrying Labrys over its shoulders. Labrys shouldn't be unconscious, but she isn't showing any sign of resistance.
Persistent pests. Too bad for you. The Grand Prix is still on. Have fun wasting time fighting each other.
Hey, wait! I've got... Ow, whoa!
As soon as Yosuke turns around to give chase, he runs up against something. I try stretching my hand. Just as I thought, there was an invisible wall. Though it wasn't here when I climbed up the stairs, the only door back into the school is the one beyond the wall. In other words, we are trapped. Yosuke hangs its head in shame and looks at me awkwardly.
Guess this means we have to fight. Sorry, I feel like I got in your way.
I came here without thinking and fell right into the enemy's trap. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. But as I see it, it isn't Yosuke who should be
I'm
apologizing.
also sorry for all this.
Huh?
We are the ones ultimately responsible for this incident. I am sorry to have dragged you all into it. If your friends are safe, I would suggest you evacuate at once. But in these circumstances, I must go after her.
There's no need for you to take the blame. I mean, I feel the same about wanting to go after her.
Why? I'm not sure this concerns you.
I promised I'd protect her. But I couldn't back her up when she needed me the most.
I thought this whole problem was my fault.
So, like,
I was so
want to
self-centered.
apologize and actually keep my promise this time. I feel like I can't leave her alone right now.
In his eyes, I could see a glimmer of
I
determination.
think I should explain certain things to you. I'm not authorized to disclose everything, but
I reviewed the important parts for it. That personas and shadows are universal, that they have an existence since ancient times, and that there are probably little-known battles and packs all over the world to harness their powers. That I have experienced in one such battle and was in fact created for that purpose. And a weapon given a heart in order to use a persona. I explained that Labrys was a prototype, long sealed away, one that was lost during a recent incident. Yosuke doesn't seem to swallow all of it, but he listens attentively nonetheless.
There are shadows outside the TV too? Who would have thought?
I was surprised as well to find out that a world like this was accessible through televisions.
Actually, if you go back in many years back, there were these games called Persona 1 and 2 where the shadows kind of just roamed the real world all the time. It wasn't just Tartarus or this world.
Believe me, we were pretty shocked last year too.
But what about Persona 5? That hasn't happened yet. Don't talk about that one. I looked straight into the boy's eyes without laughing at his attempt to lighten the mood. Only the winner can leave, so we must fight. There is no ignoring that cold fact. I suspect the shadows set this up to buy time. We don't have a moment to waste. I don't say anything, but Yosuke seems to get the picture.
Can you tell me something? What's going to happen to Labrys once you catch her?
I cannot answer that.
Yeah, I thought so. You did say that she was a weapon after all. Not really surprised you can't talk about it with outsiders.
Is that all? I must go get her back. If you cooperate with me, I am sure I can knock you out painlessly.
In response to my blunt suggestion, a wry smile appears on Yosuke's face. However, his eyes are still have that gleam.
Sorry, but I can't back down.
Frog.
Are you really going to fight me? Not to boast, but you would challenge a living weapon?
She said she wanted to be free. Hey, I made her a promise. I want to see it through. I guess you could say it's a guy pride thing?
He jokes about it, but there's a resolve behind his words. He will not back down. What he is really saying is this: my feelings for Labrys are as strong as yours. I smile inwardly, though it does not show on my face.
I understand.
Oh, inwardly.
I accept your challenge.
Man, stop throwing big words at me. Or words I don't use. I get it, you people are smarter than me. Alright, I guess his finisher is a lot different, so we'll see how this goes.
I failed. Final sequence.
And I missed. Alright.
Just get
Firing. Fight. Here. All right. Anti-air. Severe impact.
Just getting started.
Strike Athena.
Just getting started. Still bad. Here goes. Just getting started.
I failed. Final
Just getting
sequence.
started.
God damn. Hers is at like an angle, so it's harder to hit.
Aerial mode. Sheesh. Already damaged. This is finish. Final sequence.
Tried it 3 times and failed. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting this one. I wonder what Elizabeth's gonna do in this game. She only fought twice. Or no, she fought 3 times. She fought you, Aegis, and Labrys. Yosuke smiles sheepishly at me from the floor.
I had a feeling I didn't have a chance against a pro like you. Ow. You sure are strong, Aige-san.
Also, could you not fill me with so many bullets next
Are
time?
you alright?
He waves his hand to show that he is fine. He should be exhausted. Perhaps the male pride prevents him from admitting it.
Looks like I'll be staying behind.
I will do what I can to not force anything on my sister that she does not want.
Can you tell her that I wanted to apologize to her too? Of course, I'll tell her myself once this is all over.
Oh god, we
but-
still gotta fight the shadow.
Oh, and one more thing. Tell her we can have a party when this is all over.
Yosuke-san.
Oh, you're invited too, of course.
My heart is warmed. He's not just worried about Labrys' safety, he's worried about her heart. I nod vigorously.
Yes, I will make sure to tell her. Though, we are not capable of eating food. Will that be a problem?
Huh? Really? Nah, it's no problem at all.
Yosuke, they're robots. They don't need food.
Thank you.
I will save Labrys from this world, from her cell of solitude. There are people in the outside world who accept us as allies. Some of them consider us friends. I am happy that hope is so close by.
Be careful. That shadow looked pretty strong.
I will.
Yeah, I can't one-shot it. As he cheers me from behind, I leave the roof. Because Aigis just has to have an angled finisher. As soon as I re-enter the school, I can sense the shadow's presence without needing to scan for it. I follow the presence back to the announcement room. What could be waiting for me this time? I slowly open the door, wary of an attack. But the room is quiet. No ambush comes. I step inside. Both versions of Labrys are facing each other further into the room. I quickly step between the two, shielding Labrys from her shadow. But the shadow does not seem to be alarmed. It spins and acts wildly.
Late. I had a feeling you'd be the one to come. Was Yosuke-kun a tough opponent?
No, he was a pushover. A beta, as one would call. As it finishes the sentence, its act stops. I brace myself in anticipation of an attack, but the shadow simply smiles brutally.
Just as you thought. The real party begins now.
Please just do your thing right now. Just as the words sink in, I hear a sound simultaneously, the heavy sound of the air being silenced behind me, or sliced behind me. I lunge to the left solely on reflexes. Battle axe slams into the ground where I'd been only milliseconds ago.
What? Sister!
Oh, we're gonna do this? I gotta fight both of them?
So close.
Shock spreads across my face. Labrys takes a combat stance with her battle axe, her wet eyes focused on me. She has chosen to fight for the Unreal School.
Is this what you really want? What else is there for me?
Labrys sounds resigned in her reply. I have no answer for her. My heart aches as if it was cut by a razor.
It's finally come to this. Sister versus sister. Let the battle begin!
The shadow jeers at me with delight. I do not have the presence of mind to deliver a rejoinder. A rejoinder? The battle about to play out is straight from the worst case scenario I had envisioned. The very person I hoped to save. My sister, I must defeat her with my own hands. I mean, realistically, you're the better one, because you're the 7th generation. So who was the 6th?
Finally!
Finish it! Final sequence!
No, get the thing! You prick.
Aerial mode!
You're gonna make me fight.
Fight! Try this! Finish! Please hit! Ha! Ignite! Back! Fight! Attack!
Also, she has a battle axe. I have guns.
Fight! Now!
I guess is boring? What do you mean? I guess is fine. We like Aigis.
Heavy damage! Severe impact! No! Light damage! Ha! Ha! Heavy jam! No! Evasive move! I failed! No! Light damage! Final sequence!
She's right under me. Am I getting it?
Severe impact! Heavy damage! Off by the full capacity! Ha! Ha! Fight! Try this! Target lock!
Labrys loses her strength and falls to her knees.
Why?
Eee.
Why
You hear that
can't
cracking
I stay
noise?
like this?
The hope she risked so much to gain has been shattered. She mutters piteously as she falls. She is not the only one who wants to collapse. I never imagined this would be so painful. Every time my attacks connected, I felt as if I was tearing out a piece of my heart. This unwanted exchange of violence, ending in one of our destruction, leads to nothing but despair. Each time I felt that pain, the memories of Labrys I saw in the classroom, those vivid images made sense. The sterile mechanical rooms that made up most of her visual memories. It must have been the facility where she was created. At that facility, Labrys was forced to endure the same pain she is now. In order to gather combat data, she was forced to destroy her sister models even though they had hearts. Not just once or twice, but over and over and over. It's too much for my mind to immediately comprehend. Agitation spreads through me like a fever. I clutch my chest.
I knew that you couldn't beat her.
The shadow, in contrast, is completely
But
nonchalant.
wow, you really didn't have any qualms about attacking her. Deep down, you must really want to make them suffer, don't you? You want them to go through what you had to. No! You want the everyday brat.
Okay, yep, we know.
But it was no use. Even another living weapon can't understand you. It's alright though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Please stop!
You're not me. Alright, everyone whip out your most evil laughs. Ooh.
Finally! You finally said it! I'm finally free!
One more from the top. Freedom! The shadow's eyes start to glow full of life. It isn't just a change in its attitude, its power seems to actually be rising. Did something in this conversation with Labrys catalyze this change? Too late, it hits me. What did the shadow want with Labrys? It was trying to buy time, which meant it needed something from her.
It's time for the true star to take the stage!
Its shout shakes the air. As if in response to the cry, the room begins to warp. The view beyond the window shimmers ominously. Look into my eyes. A giant incinerator appears from the darkness. Countless chassis are falling in to be cruelly destroyed. Illuminated by the blood-red light of the flames, the shadow reveals its true form. Seeing Labrys look-alike commanding a giant beast behind it brings to mind the summoning of a persona. I run over to Labrys and stand her listless body.
I won't be doing that trash anymore.
It seems that the shadow has accomplished its goal with Labrys. I was used, forced to fight my sister for this purpose. I clench my teeth at my own slowness to comprehend.
Let's get started, shall we?
This isn't just for Labrys, this is the enemy, the fate of anyone not human.
It seems that I must take responsibility for this.
It's time to do battle. Again. And then I'll probably have to fight 2 more times. At least we're zooming through these end ones a little bit. Akihiko's wasn't that long.
This will finish it! I failed. My other 7. I failed.
Oh, I didn't get the 100 off my burst. Oh, what the heck? Drag me into the shadow realm.
Severe impact. Light damage. Engage. Bramble. Bramble. I fixed. Bramble. Damage. Severe impact.
Okay, might actually have to try. And not try to do the fish.
Go. Charging. Now. There is. Fight. One more time. Over. Airstrike.
Alrighty, see how much further it'll drag. The monster's form melts away as it disappears like fog. Only a silhouette similar to Labrys' remains. It falls to its knees, having no will to resist
I
anymore.
somehow pulled through.
I turn to face the real
Are you
Labrys.
all right?
She is conscious and seems to have no major damage. All that remains to be tested is her
Please
will.
listen. I have a message for you. From Yosuke-san. He said that he is sorry for promising to help you and being unable to support you when you needed it most. Additionally, he said that he would be throwing a party later. You are invited, of course.
You're lying.
No one would ever invite me to a party. My axe is too big.
If that is what you think, you can ask him yourself later. Now please, stand up.
I lend her my shoulder and prop her up. She follows my lead, but her legs are still shaking.
How come this happened? I didn't want to hurt anyone or make them suffer.
I know. That was a shadow going berserk. Not everything it said reflects your true feelings. I had a similar experience, actually. My other self was on the verge of going berserk. It told me there was an innate contradiction in having a heart, but not being human, preventing me from truly protecting others.
Wasn't that tough to listen to?
Yes, of course.
Then how can you stand it? How are you still acting like everything's fine?
I'm fine right now, but I'm sure I will suffer that pain again someday. Very probably, as long as I am myself. It will never go away as long as I live.
It won't? Then what can I do but give up? What am I supposed to do?
We'll be all right, as long as we have friends.
Labrys opens her eyes
It was
wide.
when you were alone that you suffered most. I'm sure of it. If you do not give up on reaching out to others, you will surely find someone who understands. Or maybe...
As I say this, I can hear voices from outside. They are calling our names. The voices grow closer and closer, and eventually one of the doors flies open.
Hey! There you are! Thank goodness!
Are you two okay?
You seem to have the matter in hand.
Kanji and Rize arrive shortly after. Now that the shadow has been defeated, the invisible walls trapping them have disappeared. There are some faces new to me as well. As I recall from the video, they are Yu Narakama and Yu Amugi, or Yukaiko Amugi. There was also a costume that looked like General Teddy. This must be the real Teddy that Chie mentioned. The resemblance is strong, but this one is so charming it's hard to hate him. Everyone has considerate words for Labrys. My heart is filled with warmth. They could have ignored us outsiders and escaped, but they didn't. They were truly worried about us and came running. Whoever wrote the text for this game, I think messed up a lot. Because there's definitely like some errors. I address Labrys, who's looking back and forth between me and them, with a perplexed look.
It might be more accurate to say that those who understand you are already here. Of course, I want to understand you as well. Please talk to me whenever you want. Tell me about your memories, even if you have to take them one at a time.
Labrys sinks deep in thought. She looks at me again. I nod silently. She slowly starts walking and stops in front of the shadow, who stands as quietly as the real one. Or as a real one. At the other end of the room.
You were right. I was always alone, so I had no one to talk to, no matter how much it hurt. And I went and blamed that on them.
Cutscene time. Sight. No cutscene.
This reminds me of us from last year.
Last year.
Yeah, it's the same thing. She's really no different from us.
Yosuke and the others smile. To acknowledge one's weakness in front of others. They must have earned their personas through the same ordeal. I can see now why their bond is so strong. The tension in the air evaporates. Just as Labrys' expression softens, a familiar voice comes from behind.
Is that Labrys?
Everyone turns to look at the newcomer.
Mitsuru-san, Akihiko-san, you're all right.
Of course we are.
I run towards them. Neither of them appear to be injured. I notice that they aren't surprised to see Yosuke and the others. They must already be aware of the situation. On the other hand, everyone else is surprised.
Who are these people and what the hell are they wearing?
Oh man, a dude storming across the battlefield in just a cape? I am all about that.
I'd say you've got good taste.
Seriously?
Labrys grabs weakly at my
Don't
arm.
worry.
I smile and nod. She still bites her lip in anxiety, but she is no longer afraid of everything.
You're Labrys, correct?
Labrys simply nods in response to Mitsuru's question as she walks up. There is an amount of silence. Mitsuru's sigh of relief
I'm
breaks
glad
it.
you're safe.
Labrys smiles back awkwardly. The look on her face helps dispel the tension in Yosuke and his friends. Mitsuru notices this as well. I step forward alongside Mitsuru to introduce ourselves and show our appreciation. It seems they have never met a Persona user who didn't awaken in the TV world. We spend some time discussing our respective circumstances. And then, no, to the roof. Teddy leads us back to the roof. They say that this was the place they used to enter the TV world. Labrys, who still doesn't quite understand that she is in the TV, cocks her head in bewilderment. Yosuke and his friends gather around her and explain everything. She is shocked at first, but as she grows accustomed to the idea, she begins laughing. Relieved, I leave Labrys to them. I approach Mitsuru and Akihiko. I relay to them the information I have gathered on this case so far. I tell them that the tournament's host was Labrys' shadow which had emerged from her, and that Labrys may have not been stolen, but that she may have escaped on her own. She has the ability to manipulate people's senses. That would explain the signs of mental interference found on the hijackers. We were able to discover Inaba through our research. Perhaps she used the same methods. It would have taken time, but she was sealed away for over 10 years. Although she was caged, it's not clear whether she was conscious or not during that period. She had more than enough time. Mitsuru and Akihiko show no surprise, but they do let out a long sigh. In contrast to Mitsuru, who is lost in thought, Akihiko goes to get an answer straight from the source. Labrys startles when he taps her shoulders.
So when did you actually awaken?
Okay, thank God they skipped a lot of conversation. Akihiko's question is blunt, but Labrys handles it calmly, knowing that it is only a natural thing to ask.
No, I can't remember.
She is being honest. She had used her ability on herself, not even she knew what she really was, but Akihiko seems skeptical. Having no memory of it also means that she is unable to deny it.
Please, Mitsuru-san. Can you be lenient with her?
Mitsuru folds her arms and thinks. I know she is a difficult position. Though Labrys may have a heart, it does not make her human. She is a weapon with dangerous capabilities. Mitsuru cannot decide based on her personality alone what measures to take, especially now that we are affiliated with the police. We have to set an example.
Yeah, would you, please?
Yosuke-kun.
I know I'm asking without knowing the whole story here, but please don't lock her up again.
Even his friends seem surprised by his outburst, but soon enough they are all giving Mitsuru the same pleading look. Mitsuru winces before giving a wry smile.
Well, I hadn't intended to seal her away again to begin with.
Mitsuru-san.
Seriously? Did you hear that?
It should be a walk in the park compared to the challenge of sending Aigis to school.
She has no intention of walking her away. The smile on Mitsuru's face confirms that much.
Thank you so much.
How about if we go outside? This isn't really the place to stand around and chat.
Yeah. Well, it was a hell of a way to start off a holiday, but at least it's over. Man, why'd that shadow have to pick our school and us of all people?
Mitsuru and Akihiko freeze.
You know, that is odd now that you mention it. I was told this place takes its shape from a person's memories. Why would it become this high school?
I had picked up on that incongruity as well. Putting aside that Inaba was chosen as the escape destination, why was a specific school so carefully recreated?
Gasp.
I also have
Who
my
would have
doubts
known?
about Labrys' power. Strictly speaking, it doesn't rob one's sanity. What her power really does is cloud one's senses with illusions. I'm not sure that would have been enough to control those hijackers so completely.
Hey, Labrys.
Hey, Labrys. Meanwhile, she's dying. So we just going the full hack route here? The instant he puts his hand on her shoulder, she twitches.
Hey, what's the matter?
Labrys abruptly leapt backwards. Everyone is baffled to see her white body flying over their heads.
She's...
Stay back, everyone!
Akihiko is the first to realize the danger and yells a warning to the others.
Sister?
Labrys stands there emotionlessly. Slowly, her right hand reaches for the battle axe on her back. Tension fills the air.
No! Why?
The blade of the axe is pointed towards me. I do not comprehend. What's going on? As I stand there confused, Labrys lowers her stance, readying herself for battle. I open my mouth to try and persuade her, but I can't. There is no time. Labrys now has the power of her persona. She will be stronger than before. If I don't focus on counterattacking, I'll lose. I clench my jaw and hold into the despair that threatens They overwhelm me. Or to overwhelm me. I must concentrate on the problem at hand. Alright, I figured we'd just go the hack route, but you know, this works too, I guess. Because I thought Aigis already fought her shadow.
Finally!
I would have had it.
Fight! Athena, heavy damage! Engage! Bramble, persona! No! No! Light damage! Maximum! Heavy damage! Severe impact! No escape! Evasive! Holding out! Bramble! Air raid! Air overheating! Aerial mode! Fight! Now! This is finish it! Persona! Fight!
Whatever. The finisher is weird. Alright, what'll happen next? Labrys falls to the ground with a thud.
Labrys!
I try to run to her, but I stop when I hear an unearthly
You
voice.
succeeded in repulsing it yet again. Very unexpected.
I thought we already fought a shadow, I guess. Everyone takes a defensive stance and looks around.
What is this? I'm not getting a good feeling about this.
It's certainly an ominous presence. That voice.
Is that my voice?
Yes, it is. Before I can react, an unnatural-looking shadow, a clump of darkness thick as a pool of blood, forms next to Labrys. Our true enemy rises from the sludge. Sludge. It is a sight I will never forget.
No. Aigis-san's shadow?
To think you'd fight back this fiercely. No wonder you once drove back a god. Yes, I want them even more now.
Want them? What does that mean?
Yosuke lashes out at the enemy, like the beta he is, but it ignores him and continues talking.
Sadly, it seems things won't be going according to plan this time. But I'll make use of what tools I have to the very end. This is my last chance. No, more like a marvelous entertainment.
Entertainment?
Instead of answering, it raises its right hand over Labrys.
Stand, my puppet.
Labrys turns up as if being pulled by strings.
Is it controlling her?
Sister!
Sister, no! She doesn't answer. Her face is blank and stare and shoulders hang down naturally. She is in every inch its puppet. Confused, I look again at the enemy. Is that my shadow? It looks like me, but its voice, its powers, they are also different from mine. But before I can come to the conclusion, the enemy uses Labrys to make its next move.
This form is exhausted from constant battle and will be useless as an asset. But unless you destroy it, it will keep rising up and attacking you all. What will you do?
Nothing! With the battle axe in hand, Labrys dashes forward without warning. Her attack is much more forceful than in the last battle. Even with all my strength, I am pushed back.
Oh crap! If this keeps up...
Let's do this! Takemika!
Wait! Don't interfere!
What?
Please!
I clench my teeth. Labrys is under the thing's control, and ignoring her own limits. As she is already damaged and exhausted from the previous battle. If we all attack, we might be able to contain her, but she could be destroyed in the process.
Now, may you suffer and curse your fate. Relinquish your personas.
Relinquish?
Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled strength.
Wait, what? You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness. Old wounds that you thought you had overcome.
Just gonna let it go.
Once
Just gonna
again.
keep talking.
You almost let go of your hearts, your personas. This one's desire to make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
You bastard. Who are you?
You had best hurry and decide. Who will be destroyed? This shell, or the lot of you?
Labrys flies through the air again and unleashes a full force attack. I am forced to one knee. If she attacks again, but just when I'm sure it's over, something happens.
Sorry, but this show is over.
Fuka shows her appearance again. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Mitsuru stand straight up. You fell for my trap card. Suddenly, the menacing aura surrounding Labrys is dispelled like magic.
What?
For the first time, the enemy seems shocked. Freed from the spell, Labrys falls to the ground.
Sister!
I run to her and cradle her in my arms. What was that? Mitsuru smiles defiantly and glances up to the
Looks
sky.
like you made it in the nick of time. You saved us, Yamagishi.
Yamagoose. An answering voice echoes in my head. A soft but extremely reassuring voice.
Are you all okay? Fuka-san?
Fuka Yamagishi. She is a fellow ally who helped us overcome the challenges we faced in the past. I cannot help but smile with surprise and joy.
So you had a third assistant.
Ooh, what a soothing voice! My
Oh,
teddy
God.
senses are telling me that this is a real cutie pie.
Teddy?
Is this like Rise-chan's persona? Wait, where is she? This feeling. What the?
Rise opens her eyes and looks up.
Voice. It's not coming from in here. Whoever it is out there.
Seriously? She can use hers in the real world? That's amazing.
Even before I can ask, Fuka tells me what I want to know.
Igus, the enemy is just mimicking your appearance. It's not actually a part of you.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away.
Mitsuru stares at the enemy in shock. We hear Fuka's words as if she's speaking, but technically there is no sound. She transmits her voice directly into people's minds. Other people should hear nothing. Yet the enemy is responding to her. I raise my guard in spite of myself, but there is no fear in me. My doubts about the enemy, my hesitation are gone. My heart starts to burn. What is this? I've never felt this heated emotion running through my body before.
You must be the one behind all this. You stole Labrys and threw her into a TV. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers.
So this must be the real puppet master.
Then, that voice who tried to dissuade me back in that classroom.
You're quite slow for a machine. Can't you tell by looking at me who that was?
So that wasn't something my heart saw, but just a malicious whisper. The fire in my heart is stoked higher and I make a fist without realizing it. I thought this entire incident was just an unfortunate event caused by my sister's suffering. But her pain was all orchestrated by someone. This isn't her tragedy. Someone who saw to it that this would happen. And not just to Labrys. Whoever did this tried to manipulate the pain in my heart too, by posing as my shadow. And to top it off, the culprit posed as everyone here to make them distrust each other, reopening wounds. This was all an evil plan. I am not human, but because of that, I hold the hearts and bonds of others to be sacred. They saved me, they keep me going, and yet it tested these bonds and those bonds and used our anguish for its own purpose. Our hearts were nothing but tools to it. Tools to hurt others. I see. I get it now. This roiling, violent surge of emotion, this shaking, burning eruption and sensation. I realized that this is the type of emotion which can be best described in a single word. This is fury. They literally just did what they did in the Labrys story.
All right, I'll play along.
Where
The
Labrys,
show must go on, right?
they put on this song and they had Igus explain the anger she was beginning to feel. That's what they did in Labrys's.
You've gone too far.
What is this emotion? It's I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to break your neck and laugh while you writhe in pain.
Gyro failed right there, you! This will finish it! Try this! Severe impact! Heavy damage! Heavy damage! Like that! Here! Out there! Aerial mode! Guarding! Out there! Light damage! Gyro failed now! Try this! Out there, you! No escape! Light damage! Not good! Light damage!
Oh, go away.
Final sequence!
Oh, I got it! Get wrecked, loser.
Maximum charge! Fire!
I'm overheated.
I'm overheated. This thing shaped like me falls to the ground on its knees, but it gets right back up with an awkward jerking motion and lets out an insane laugh. The smile on its face, contrasted with its damaged limbs, has the eeriness of a clown. Dang, you call yourself a clown?
This is fine with me.
Well, you called it a clown, but you know.
Good enough for my purposes that I confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
Good enough, my ass.
Those are
You
the
got him,
words of a
Kanji.
sore loser.
This is only a temporary form. I doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance, but sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game. All that irritates me is having to feign cooperation with that foolish human until I obtain the one true vessel.
That foolish human? An odd choice of words. It would seem to imply not only that it is not human, but also that it is working with a human to carry out its crimes.
I will see you in another guise next time. Just wait until then.
It let out a raucous laugh in its face. After that, it slowly fades away.
Yamagishi.
Mitsuru quickly calls out. However,
The reading disappeared. It didn't move, it just vanished. What could this mean?
Back to square one again.
Akihiko lets out a heavy sigh.
Sheesh. It even
Cheese!
had to exit on a lame, evil laugh.
Another guys, huh?
Don't even think about coming around here again!
Should we put up some talismans? I've got a lot left over from when we were putting them up in our inn.
Well, even if it shows up again, it'll get double the pain we gave it this time.
I'ma beat it with my chair.
Who could it be, though? How did it know about our personas?
It was Bill Nye the Science Guy.
That aside, it sure had a sneaky way of doing things. This is twice I've been kidnapped into the TV world, you know. Twice!
Their irritation. I swear to God, Epic Games. Their irritation is obvious, and it's only natural. They were toyed with too, and they do not take Labrys' treatment well. But I cannot encourage them to settle the score. Akihiko apparently thinks the same.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after us.
Of course. You should be aware that the enemy is out there. Aki
Yeah,
will
yeah,
do
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah,
best.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guy,
Are you serious?
they're right that we need.
Yu is aware of the situation, of their situation, speaks out. Perhaps he senses our dilemma.
I'm sorry, everyone.
He nods and looks at Yosuke, who reluctantly gives up. Their ability to communicate through eye contact only proves the strength of their bond.
Alrighty, attention please. The trip doesn't end until we get out of the TV.
Dude, we were in the middle of a conversation. And what's this about a trip? You really gave us a scare disappearing like that. And this isn't the first time either.
It's not my fault.
Eh,
Or
kind
should
of
I
is.
actually sponsor the next Miss Inaba?
Don't even think about it.
Next, Miss Inaba. Chie's fist is still shaking with anger after impacting Teddy at full strength. There are times when you should give it your all because it's your friend. How beautiful friendship is. Abusing your friends. After everyone calms down, we finally move on to the main subject. We all gather at the roof in order to leave this world. After getting everyone's attention, Teddy makes a few narcissistic remarks and clicks his heels. Then, like a magic trick at a party, some old TVs appear and pull out in a puff of smoke.
What are you doing with this ancient TV? Hang on, where'd you even get this?
It's a Teddy Vision! You can get out from here!
This TV is our escape route? Can we really fit inside?
Alright, everyone brace yourselves for Teddy.
Ooh, are you a little too front-loaded to fit? In that case, I wouldn't mind helping you squeeze through!
Thank you, Teddy.
Even worse than before, you know that?
Chie and Yosuke jump in without hesitation, showing how used to it they are. Seeing that, Akihiko and Mitsuru shrug and follow suit. Labrys stares as everyone gets sucked into the TV one by one. But she doesn't look scared. Her eyes are actually bright as she glances this way. I can't help but smile at that. She doesn't need my permission to do anything. I tell her to go ahead and she dives in headfirst with a giant grin. Although, yep, the axe. I knew it. Just as I thought her wings don't fit. And she gets caught on the screen. I burst into laughter to see her legs sticking out of the TV, kicking wildly. I take off the unit on her back and she instantly gets sucked into the TV. I wonder if she landed safely. That's the last one. I turn around and take a final look. It doesn't feel like it, but it's only been a few hours since we entered the TV. And only 3 days since the hijacking. It was a horrible nightmare, but at the same time, I met some good people. But most importantly, it isn't over. The true test may be still to come. I push my toes in and slip into the TV. Everyone made it back out safely. When we return to the real world, I'm surprised to find myself in Juness, a large department store. I've never seen Mitsuru so flustered. Even she could not have expected to emerge in such a crowded place in town from a display TV at that. But to make it back to the limousine, we have no choice but to walk through the store. Mitsuru in her skin-tight suit. Akihiko mostly naked except for his cape. Me with my mechanical parts exposed, and Labrys with her axe, or her wings, I suppose. Not to mention Teddy. Rize and Naoto are both public figures. One is an idol and the other is a detective. We make quite an outlandish procession. Considering the nature of our operation, I hope to avoid having my picture taken with phone cameras. However, as we walk along, I soon find out that my fear of cameras is baseless. In fact, it is not cameras we need to worry about at all. It is the police. I find myself anxious in this completely unexpected situation. An arrest would mean disgrace as an unofficial unit. And I'm sure Yosuke and the others would like to avoid the inside of Juvenile Hall. Everyone hastily agrees with each other and takes off at full speed. I can hear Yosuke and Chie loudly complaining about the unfairness of the world. Mitsuru and Akihiko exchange fearless smiles, though cold sweat is streaming down both their faces. Teddy and Labrys seem like they're having fun. I don't think they understand the situation. Yu and Yukiko run without a word, like determined athletes. Kanji tries to turn and fight every so often, with Naoto having to stop him each time. Rize switches on her cell phone to find an alarming number of missed calls, which seems to be a bigger problem for her. In the end, our parting with the Yasogami High School students concluded with a brief goodbye as we all scatter like birds. Quick, everyone scatter! That night, we decide to stay the night in Inaba for a quick health checkup and review of the case. After finishing the necessary steps, we decide to take an early rest. The true culprit is still out there, and Labrys needs to get to the lab for proper maintenance. After 10 years of stasis, she was suddenly forced into a series of stressful battles. It would not be surprising if some of her parts are now malfunctioning. Considering the morning traffic, we should leave early in the day. Or so I suggest, but Labrys has other ideas. Yeah, why were the police after them? I don't. Why would they run? Mitsuru would just have to flash the Karijo card and be like, hey, we're here on business. May 4th, the next day. A car is parked near an intersection away from the main road. We're here to say goodbye to everyone. Labrys wanted it this way. I am happy that she wishes to see people again on her own will. On the side of the street, all the people we met yesterday are gathered to see Labrys one last time. They wished to say goodbye to her, but they had not expected us to contact them.
I asked if I could come see everyone. I wanted to give everyone a real goodbye.
What do you do next? You going back to that lab?
No, I decided I'm gonna work with Mitsuru-san and them. I want to do my damnedest to catch whoever used me to bait a trap for you all.
Alright. Then I guess the party's on hold until after everything's really over. But hey, you should come see us again anyway. Promise me, okay?
You got it.
Okay, anytime I hear Persona 3 music, it just makes me wish they'd port Persona 3. Labrys shakes hands with each of them. Even after we leave, Labrys keeps waving through the rear window. Waving and waving and waving. Waving and waving, and even past the point where the human eye can no longer see her, she is still waving. After she has waved to her heart's content, she turns to see Fuka, and I look at her and blushes. Fuka giggles.
I'm glad things went well. Oh, but first, this is becoming a real reunion.
Indeed. Things are going to heat up from now on. I must get back and reallocate my staff.
You're including me in there, right? Every opponent I made a mistake against on my journey, I made sure to go back and get a rematch. This'll be no different.
It should spur discussion amongst the staff again about working Yamagishi into our unit.
Huh? I'm still not sure about joining any special unit.
Flustered, Fuka starts wringing her hand. Glancing at the seat next to me, I notice Labrys looking at the sky through her window.
I didn't know the sky was so blue.
There's deep wistfulness in her
Back
voice.
at the lab, they only let me out at night. But this, I feel like I've seen it once before. That same bright blue sky.
Okay. I hope everything's still working. Once before, I recalled the memory relating to those words amongst the countless memories of Labrys awakened within me. The sea. That cerulean sky and lingering clouds, the emerald blue water. In my mind, I placed Labrys at the scene. A white figure gazing from the edge of a pier. Is everything still fine for you guys? Or did something just go wrong on my end? I'm gonna assume it's fine. I know this scenery. For an instant, it feels that I do. Like a knot slowly undoing itself. The lid of a box inside of me opens, and something hot fills my chest. What had been only an image becomes a memory. Soon after, I understand everything. I know when Labrys saw this scene. I think the stream might have just, like, killed itself for a second. I know what she thought when she saw it, what she wished for.
Ah, I see now.
Noticing my murmur, Labrys looks at me in wonder.
The scenery from your memory was the pier outside of the Yakushima laboratory.
Suddenly, Labrys' eyes open in surprise.
The date was the final day before you were sealed. You made a heartfelt wish there. You hoped that your successor would make the same wish to see someone precious to them. And that meeting would take place at the pier. You dreamed that your successor would be able to go beyond that pier, to places you would never be able to see for yourself. And that even if your memories were deleted, your feelings would be passed on to the next generation.
Labrys' ruby eyes begin to quiver. My words have unearthed her buried memory.
That's right.
It was at that very place where I met the friends I have now. When I was searching for someone, I found myself naturally drawn there for some reason.
They're referring to when the team met Igus in Persona 3. My memories return to a certain encounter. That day, on that very same pier, I met him. My dear friend.
I think it was because of your wish.
My wish? You mean the thing I wished for that day actually came true?
Indeed. It stayed alive for 10 years. Thank you, Labrys.
it's because of you that I found happiness.
Huh. I didn't know that. My desires, all the feelings I got from the others, they didn't go to waste.
Tears stream down Labrys' cheek. I stretch out a finger to wipe them off, but it's already wet from a drop of my own. Mitsuru and Fuka smile at us gently. Fuka seems a bit teary-eyed herself.
I gotta thank you, too. You made me remember something important.
What happened to the dog, the world will never know. After wiping her tears, Labrys looks at me, her eyes clear and determined.
Someone I have to find. I need to meet her so I can tell her something.
I am about to extend my hand to shake hers, but it seems too distant a gesture for a sister's. Instead, I pull her towards me and look at her face to
I'm
face.
sure you will. You're not alone anymore. We can search for her together.
Yeah. Thanks.
As the sun shines down, she gives me the biggest smile I've seen on her yet. Yeah, thank God Dio's not in this universe. Alrighty. Now is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's the last one. And it's something that's hopefully going to be very different. And not repetitive. And hopefully not 4 hours long. We're going in. Space. Within the endless darkness are scattered countless bright lights, like a nebula. But those lights are not stars. Each one is the light of life, the gleam of man's soul. This is the world inside people's hearts, a place where every human's consciousness is connected and can be traced to their origin. Every memory since the dawn of man, and even those within the ladder of its evolution, slumbers here. I doubt it's going to be a to be continued. This is probably going to get me to 100%. Some think of this place as a sea, and they may be correct. Depending on how deep you go, you may see this world's endless landscapes and innumerable faces. Where I stand now is one of its furthest depths, a domain that has existed far before life became sentient, or even took form. Here there is only the darkness of death and the radiance of life. I come here at times, for a very important objective. Suddenly a patch of darkness surges and undulates. The pitch-black substance swells with a tar-like consistency, and quickly takes the shape of a giant arm.
My, it's rather stout compared to before.
It's FES! Persona 3 FES! Oh, I don't like where this is going, because I think I know where this is going. Just as good and evil are products of man's heart, there is a negative force here, in the sea of souls that tempts man to corruption and destruction. Though one person's malice may amount to little, there are billions of people in the world. It's actually common for monsters capable of destroying mankind to develop without anyone realizing. This is one of them. Though it has only an arm, at first, it quickly develops into an enormous human-shaped torso. Even in this space, where up and down are fluid, its resentment-filled roar causes the air to shake. The monster raises an enormous arm towards the heavens. Its destructive power could tear down mountains. But it suddenly stops. Something is blocking its movement. I am, to be precise. You might think I'm nowhere on the scene. In truth, even the monster may be thinking that. But I'd like to direct your attention to the fingertips at the end of the giant arm. Closer. Even closer than that. Keep going closer, all the way to the index finger.
There. Do you see me now? Have I forgotten to introduce myself? My name is Elizabeth.
I fix my gaze upon the two lights that seem to be the monster's eyes, but it twists away, trying to resist.
Do you wish to behold death that much?
I grab the monster's index finger, and in one motion, I flip its immense body and throw it into the air. The monster cries out in agony and the area quakes again.
Oh dear. It seems it won't be easy for one of this size. I cannot damage the world of everyone's hearts, and I hesitate to make a scene in the real world either. Time for a change of scenery.
I open the elegant grimoire in my hand. A large blue magic circle forms behind the thrown monster, swallowing the gargantuan figure. I follow it in. Continual turbulent streams of light and darkness flow past the monster and myself. Eventually, I
We
speak
will
up.
soon reach our destination.
Another magic circle appears in an altogether different kind of black void than the one we came from. The monster is spat out there, and when it collides with the surface, a tremendous cloud of dust rises. I emerge from the magic circle second and rise into the air. On the horizon beyond the monster, I can see a deep blue sphere. She took him to the moon? Yes, this is the moon.
Now, I had promised to show you death. Your fate is in the cards.
Thanatos. A figure appears behind me, bearing several coffins.
The god of death, Thanatos. What do you think?
The light of the stars shines off its drawn sword and gleams bewitchedly.
Was it to your liking? Well then, farewell.
The fact that they're showing off Elizabeth just casually killing this thing is funny. It flings the sword down at the monster's head. Against its fearsome size, the sword is barely larger than a needle. But the sword's merciless sharpness pierces far beyond the blade's length. The monster's body slices apart like wet paper. With a final death cry, the monster slowly dissolves and evaporates as black mist. A deafening silence returns to the area. To break the quiet, a tune plays on my lips.
Velvet,
Oh, God.
velvet.
1 second. Why is everything going wrong? You already hate Elizabeth? Yeah, I'm not too big a fan. I create another magic circle in the air and step through it. I shouldn't remain long in this world without any real objective. This is not the world I belong in, after all.
My master has a large nose.
I was once a resident of the Velvet Room and served its master. The dark blue clothing I still wear is from that time. All the residents have their roles, but they are also on a journey. She was fine until she started singing. A lot of people actually like Elizabeth, which surprises me. Because, I mean, I don't mind her, but I don't know, she gets kind of annoying. We help our guests grow as people, and through the help we offer, we come to understand the ultimate question. It's the fundamental question of, who are we?
Thinking back on it, I spent so many days like that for such a long time. I had thought that it would be impossible to change.
Dude, I would have loved if they made Igor a playable character for some reason, just like a gag character. But 2 years ago, I finally reached my answer. One's identity cannot be sought out, but must be forged for oneself. It's something you build little by little. People call the freedom to do so potential, and by mastering it, people develop their unique identities. That is the understanding I came to. So it seemed to me I should believe in my own potential and wander in pursuit of my desire. It wasn't a hard conclusion to come to. That is why I abandoned my assigned role and departed on my long journey. I have set an objective for myself, to defeat the monster I fought a moment ago once and for all. I vanquished it then, but that is only temporary.
It'll surely resurrect within the year again, and I'll go through today once more.
That monster was born from the twisted wishes arising from the lack of substance in people's lives. It slowly stagnates and seeps out. If this is life, then bring on death. Desires like that are what give it power. And that giant black arm tries to free death from its prison. It can never be left, to act on its aims. But as long as people continue to wish as they do, the foul feelings will congeal and it will revive endlessly. To truly defeat the monster would be to change the very souls of the people. That cannot be done no matter how much one improves their skill in battle. I do not currently know how this goal can be attained. It may be that no one in the world knows yet. Some new and unknown miraculous power will most likely be required. That is why I wish to travel as far and wide as I can to broaden my horizons. Since I have only interacted with the guests of the room, I am sure the scope of my knowledge is far inferior to a single human's. But there are infinite places for me to explore. I'll travel to each one and satisfy my natural curiosity. Come on, just show me the thing I want to see. Or maybe not. We're cutting straight to this.
That's why I have come here. A double check on the danger scale situation that I just recently discovered.
I place my hands on my hips and what I believe to be standing firm. Before me is what seems to be a replica of a building in the real world.
Since multiple Persona users gathering, it's once in a blue moon that one discovers a place like this. I'm sure I can learn some interesting things here, or something along those lines. In any case, I, Elizabeth, can scarcely keep myself from getting involved.
For someone with a physical form to step into the realm of the mind would be for them to enter an even more abstract place than the Velvet Room. Have I been grinding Elden Ring to make Smelga smaller or stronger? Not really. I play it every here and there. Normally it would be impossible, and even if it were, it would be very dangerous without a firm will. For it to occur at all is intriguing enough, but on top of that, these people are mainly Persona users. And not just one or two. There's no denying that something truly extraordinary is happening here. Broaden horizons aside, I cannot resist taking a closer look. When I get closer, I see a nameplate reading Yasogami High School at what seems to be the main gate.
This building, is it a school?
The school building before me looks aged and I narrowed my eyes.
It seems somewhat old-fashioned compared to the school I have experience with, but it has its charms as well. This is what they call animalist aesthetic.
Minimalist.
Animalist? Bestial? Anyway, something along those lines.
There are bizarre decorations as far as the eye can see inside the building. Was this school always thus adorned?
These decorations. Could this be the fabled school festival I've heard tell of? A festival is
No,
where
this is
one
Patrick.
toys with the lives of goldfish in a scandalous game.
In a scandalous game.
One can also enjoy a combat simulation with close-range shooting tests using sniper rifle fire into the interior of stalls. Ooh, I'm starting to get excited.
Looking up, I spy a large sign, done in vibrant colors.
P-1 Grand Prix. Could this be a fighting tournament? This isn't why the Persona users are gathering, is it?
No sooner do my suspicions arise than I sense the first presence within the school and turn towards it. Come, challenger. I wave my arms about in anticipation, but something seems a bit odd.
That lady over there, she not a Persona user?
She can run into Labrys.
Regardless of that, I sense something out of the ordinary.
When I close my eyes, I can tell that while she may appear to be a human girl, something about her is amiss. I sense an unnatural disconnect from her memories and consciousness not seen in most people.
Is she truly human?
Now that I'm here, I can sense powerful combatants gathering one by one. If such power were to be used in the fullest in clashes of skill, the result could be life-threatening. This place is not meant for such a girl. If she were to be drawn into this, then in the worst-case scenario...
Were I still my old self when I only lived to play out my role, I would leave her be. But I am different now.
I am rogue. I make my way towards the girl. As I approach her, I begin to hear voices. It seems that she is calling herself a student council president. I stride down to the end of the hallway where she is walking directly into her view. The girl gives me a slightly questioning look, but no more. She comes towards me guilelessly.
Hey, excuse me. You got some reason to be at our school?
Up close, I can tell at once. There's no doubt that this girl is not human. Yet, she seems to be under that impression. The original residents of this place seem to believe that she is as well. But of course, that is impossible. The disconnect I sensed earlier must be related.
Someone have tampered with her memories and psyche?
No matter how unusual her circumstances, such extreme gaps in awareness are no mere figments of the imagination. It's possible, but normally those with a distorted view of reality have equally distorted emotions. And I do not sense that in her. Her emotions are in balance, only her memories and awareness fall short like a corpse day ballet falling behind a solace. Words. I fix my gaze upon the girl before me once again. If she did not come here of her own will, then the events here may be more sinister than I imagined.
Are you sure this is how things should be?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I am a wanderer who only stopped here because I sensed great power gathering. I am in no position to give advice, but... this place will soon be caught in a bit of a fracas. If you continue to avert your eyes from everything, I think it will have an impact on your life in the near future.
So what significance are you going to be here, Elizabeth?
What?
Are you just going to go through the fights?
What you choose is up to you, but I believe there are factors preventing you from making the right choices at the moment.
What if Elizabeth was the ringleader the whole time?
I couldn't bring myself to just stand by and watch as you lost your life before my eyes. That is why I came to you, so I could give you one last chance.
She has most likely forgotten who she is. I sense something shining, slumbering deep in her heart. It's the glow of a bond. No one who has been a resident of the Velvet Room could mistake it for anything else. Before she forgot herself, she must have had strong feelings about someone or had made a promise to them. But I'll leave it to her to remember what it was. I hold out the Persona Compendium as if handing it to the girl and opened its pages. Light streams out from it and washes over her. The light dispels the girl's false image, the illusion that made her seem human, though she is not.
Huh?
It just blinked
What
in.
is this?
Her portrait. It did. That's funny. Her true form is revealed as a gleaming mechanical body. Her arms look as if steel plates are covering them. The girl frantically pulls at them to try and tear them off.
It won't come off. What gives? My, what a robotically cool body. It is apparently meant for battle.
Robotically cool body.
Hey, you! What did you do to me? Nothing in particular. Well.
I just tore off your mask and unveiled your true
I shall
self.
briefly be your opponent.
Oh wait, that's Persona 5.
During that time, why
That
not
doesn't
think
exist yet.
back about who you are?
It didn't exist back in 2013.
Huh?
Most likely, I will not get through to her with words alone. Only by being forced into a confrontation will she be able to understand. She already knows how to use the steel limbs, which she's supposedly never seen before.
And away we go.
Oh, I gotta play Elizabeth? Yuck. I don't know how to play Elizabeth.
Final.
Well, that's lame.
My attack. You're frozen now. My attack. My attack. My attack. Round and round.
No! Screams.
My attack. Round and round. My attack.
Thanatos. Really like Thanatos. I think he's a cool looking persona. The girl collapses powerlessly. I used a soft touch during the battle. She should have sustained no injuries. Probably. Still, the girl does not stand back up. Apparently due to mental rather than physical stress. Her own arms and legs had turned metallic, yet in the heat of battle she was able to use those foreign appendages with ease. If she truly thought herself to be human, that would have come as quite a shock.
That should be enough. I'm sure you realize now that you are not human. There must have been an important promise that could only be kept in that guise. That must have been your reason for living. Whether it's worth losing that or not, I ask that you give it serious thought.
The word guise is dumb. I know it's just disguise, but...
An important promise.
I don't know. I feel like it's an
Your reason for
unnecessary word.
living?
Her potential will become unlocked through self-reflection. That was how it happened for me as well.
Now, it seems the tumult of trials is about to begin. In which case, I bid you good luck.
I close the compendium in my hand and the warm pages rustle as they meet. By the time it shuts, I am already far away from the girl. In my absence, the illusion is again in place, giving her the appearance of a human once more. She may consider what happened to be a daydream, and that it is all quite alright. My intention was to give her an opportunity to awaken to the truth. What she eventually decides is up to her. Put that aside, there is nothing else on my mind. The girl I fought looked human, but wasn't. It is rare for even one such as I, with an unimaginably long lifespan, to meet someone like her. Yet, she is the second such person I have known. The other was also a guest of mine once. She too resembled a human girl. I can sense her power somewhere here as well. Most likely, she's here for reasons having to do with the girl I met.
What an intriguing event. More so than I had first imagined.
Though I came here on a mere whim, the trip may be unexpected fruit. Perhaps I'll discover something important. My interest piqued even more now I decide to go further in. When I do, the bustle of voices reaches my ears. Is that a cheer? Bah, 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 bah. One of the monitors nearby turns on after the cheer dies down. It's showing a girl in a school uniform.
Ladies and gentlemen, is everyone ready? It's time to get our program started. I, Reset, will be your commentator. Please, hold your applause. Oh, you're too kind. You're too
What is happening?
kind. Well, with things starting to heat up now, the General has a few words for you. The mic's all yours, sir.
Next, a person who seems to be the host takes the girl's place. Actually, person may be incorrect. That intriguing fluffiness and tantalizing round body.
Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P-1 Grand Prix!
And here I was thinking we were done with this.
Presenting the manliest of all men!
This is more of a to-do than I thought.
I keep watching as a video with some upbeat music plays.
Is this an introduction to the contestants?
A number of girls and boys are introduced at a steady pace. I haven't seen any of their faces before, but they all appear to be Persona users. Each one of them is tagged with a mocking epithet.
Carnivore who's discarded womanhood, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, the sister complex kingpin. Are these signs of their willingness to cast aside their pride in pursuit of victory? I wonder if they're not casting aside a little too much. This is a rather novel idea.
There's no denying that those with power are gathering here for the tournament. The video comes to a close. Since I came here on my own whim, I am obviously not featured in it. How unfortunate. I catch myself pouting my lip.
Should I officially enter this as well? Oh, but if the manliest of all men are the ones called for, I cannot participate.
I am a woman.
Then again, I distinctly spotted a woman or two in the introductory video, and I shan't concern myself with such trifling details. I shall soldier on.
The next time the host appears on a monitor, I will make my entreaty. If he turns me down, then I shall resort to force. Very good. My mind made up, I begin to walk through the school. Interesting. Battles, battles. Oh, where might I find a battle? I look into a window nearby. Aha!
Oh my! The host himself is before my eyes.
I should go to the announcement room. Before I realize it, I am already in motion. Oh, it's the music room.
Pardon my dynamic entrance.
Someone's here!
Looking around, I see a piano and portraits of famous composers lining the walls. I see, this must be what they call a music room.
Please forgive me for startling you.
Ooh! Who are you, miss?
I am Elizabeth, a mere elevator attendant, albeit one who is currently utterly neglecting her duties.
An elevator attendant? I don't believe it. I'm having culture shock.
Why did Teddy have to be the first one?
I wish Junessa's elevators had such beautiful attendants too.
Excuse me, but may I ask your name?
Teddy! Doi!
Doi.
I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating that in human language?
I was saying it normally. Teddy is my name, and I'm a proud bear.
I see. Teddy Bear. You have a rather creative flair to your appearance.
I wish you'd say cute instead. Though hearing a pretty lady like you say so makes my heart skip a beat.
Watching him, I cannot restrain my curiosity any longer, and prod his soft fur with abandon.
Huh? What are you doing?
This seems to lack ventilation. How does he breathe in there? Huh, there's a zipper.
Oh, she's stripping him.
Stop! I'm ticklish. Oh no! No opening! You're embarrassing me!
Oh, please forgive me. Curiosity almost killed the bear.
Huh? What were you planning on doing to me? You're even a tougher customer than the kids at the food court, miss.
When I step away. Are we good, computer? No? Yes? Maybe? Everything looks fine. What has happened?
Teddy Bear, though I am a woman, I wish to partake in this Grand Prix.
It just told me all my recording stuff or live streaming stuff was disconnecting and then reconnecting.
Huh? I can't help you with that.
Oh, but are you not the host shown in the introduction video?
It's all a huge misunderstanding. That guy's an imposter.
He's an imposter. He's sus. I saw him vent. It seems he is faced with some kind of dilemma. I decide to lend an ear to Teddy Bear. He animatedly describes his circumstances, but his arms and legs are too short to illustrate his point. His mannerisms are so peculiar that understanding is an uphill battle. But in the end, I grasp the basics.
I see. So you realized that something was amiss and came wandering in here yourself to investigate. But you fell into the imposter's trap and couldn't do a thing until a moment ago. You have my deepest sympathies.
Do I really? Anyways, everyone else is on the contestant list while I get the cold shoulder.
Is that so? Then, since we are both outcasts, let us participate of our own accord.
Our own?
May I request a match from you?
That makes no sense at all. What do you mean? Ooh, maybe a hot and heavy struggle with all kinds of clinches and holds?
Teddy, we're gonna have to put you in timeout.
A one-on-one battle to the extreme.
That makes no sense. Wait a second. You look a lot stronger than me, miss.
Oh,
There's a dark energy around you.
No, I'm really not.
I'm very sorry, but the deadline for submitting a forfeit notice has expired.
Elizabeth slaughters literally everyone here.
You're not sorry at all. There are things I can't do, you know. Oh, but on the other hand, if I can try scoring with you later, I might rethink this.
All right, Teddy, that's another timeout.
Scoring? I do not understand the term, but if that is your stipulation, why, I accept.
Ooh, you accept? Woohoo! I'm ready to go whenever you are.
That is, if you're still alive afterward. Well then, here goes.
Is scoring worth it, Teddy, if you're going to die if you lose? Thanatos. I take my fighting stance. Settling matters through a show of force is simple, straightforward, and so beautiful. Everything's still fine for you guys, right? Like nothing's stuttering or lagging or nothing? I don't know what's been happening today with all the interferences. What does it do?
You're frozen now. Oh no. Here. You're frozen now. Round and round. Ooh.
Alright, if you guys say it's fine, then I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna keep going.
This one will have time for a good Hide my men. Ready? My turn. My turn. My attack. Here, some freezing. Here. You're frozen now.
Is this gonna have like any like significance? That's
The road to dating is steep. Ugh.
With an exaggerated groan, Teddy Bear collapses, or rolls down to be more precise.
Teddy Bear, you truly are an intriguing creature.
Hearing this, Teddy Bear springs to his feet.
Are you interested in me?
Though you aren't human, you fight against your fate and wish to be with humans. I have witnessed one other case who bore such a fate in the past.
Huh?
You made a choice and decided how you wish to live. That is marvelous, Teddy Bear.
Marvelous? Me? Does that mean you're still okay with me trying to score with you?
That is not what it means.
Teddy Bear loses his balance for some unknown reason and falls over.
No! The way you shoot down my attempts reminds me of Yuki-chan.
Yuki-chan? Is this an acquaintance of yours?
Yuki-chan is a very precious friend of mine.
You have friends.
Actually, everyone who is in that video are my friends. But I can't forgive them for having all the fun. I'll make them buy me a tasty treat for this.
I see. May I ask you something? Who would you consider the strongest among your friends?
Oh, is this gonna be why Elizabeth
Sensei,
goes
of
to
course.
Narukami?
He's the manliest of all men!
He's the manliest.
Sensei. If I recall correctly, that is the name of a governing class within a school, wielding the power of life and death over its students. Yes, that does indeed sound like the name of a strong warrior.
Sensei's our leader!
He sounds strong, but he seems to be unconnected to the former guest I am searching for. But as Teddy Bear speaks of his friend called Sensei, he wears a beaming expression. They must be connected with a truly strong bond. Inwardly, I am surprised. Though he is adorable, this teddy bear most likely used to be something similar to a shadow. I am very curious about anyone who could form a bond with such a being. Thinking about it that way makes me interested in him as well.
Oh, that was quite helpful. Thank you.
Once the tournament's over, you should come hang out at Junes sometime.
Junes?
It's a place where Don Yosuke and I
Don
work.
Yosuke.
It's huge.
Yosuke's in a
There,
gang now.
And they have candy, toys, and sexy bikinis too.
What a paradise on Earth! It seems there is still much I do not know about in your world. Well then, if you'll excuse me, I must get going now.
Be careful!
I bow politely. Teddy Bear waves back with a big smile. Alright, now we're gonna go fight Narukami, I guess. Now, though I decided to participate on my own, how should I proceed from here? I don't have a good understanding of this building's layout, after all. I try going in and out of the building to test various paths, but I don't get anywhere.
It may have come to this.
I rear back my head and inhale as deeply as I can. And then...
Bring out the next opponent! No one heeded my call. I suppose repeating that line isn't enough.
my shoulders sag slightly, and I concentrate on the area nearby. I sense an unexpected presence.
Ah, there is someone closer by than I had expected.
Why did the music get so loud? Did they miraculously fix the audio in the game?
I'm starting to feel tingly.
Like in the middle of me playing? I don't think that's how that works. There's no need for me to keep searching for an opponent since one is already nearby. I trace the presence and proceed down the hallway. When I reach what appears to be an entryway, I can hear what sounds like voices quarreling. One of the voices is Teddy Bear, or rather, the sham host, General Teddy.
What a fight!
Oh, it's Aegis.
You're an anti-shadow weapon.
I take no joy at all from your praise.
As I move forward, I find myself breaking into a run. Soon afterward, the voice's owners enters my field of vision, just as I thought. That unmistakable figure, she is a guest I hosted in my life as a resident. If I recall correctly, her name is Aegis. Upon closer inspection, she is aiming her weapon at General Teddy on the monitor.
weapon at a monitor isn't very scary. But anyways, your next opponent is...
Ah, if I don't act now, the match will start without me. I must prevent General Teddy from speaking for the time being until my business is complete. Again, before I realize it, I am already in motion.
Oh
She killed
no!
Teddy!
Pardon my bold entrance. Huh? Oh, the monitor's completely shattered. Who would do such a thing?
A strange intruder has shown up.
Oh my. I thought we were having a touching reunion. How unfortunate that you would refer to me
Yeah, I
as
guess
a
why don't you
strange
recognize her?
intruder.
A reunion? I don't recall ever meeting anyone so odd.
She who governs power. Does that ring any bells for you?
Huh? Wait. Are you the one I met in that blue room then?
Ah, she
Your
remembered.
entrance just now was very different from how I remembered your behavior, so I didn't recognize you. But you're Eridanus' son.
Eridanus.
No.
Elixir? Orangi?
Orangi?
In any case, I never dreamed that I'd meet you here.
That goes for
That's
myself
Elizabeth's
as
new name,
well.
Orangi.
It's been a long time since I saw you. But why are you here? What about your duties of governing power?
I am currently in gross abandonment of my duties.
That was a very straightforward answer.
Considering the circumstances here, I'd like to test your strength as well.
I excitedly flipped through the pages of the compendium.
What? Please, wait a moment. Does that mean you wish to fight me?
From what
Exactly.
I've heard, in certain cultures in your world, one lets one's fists do the talking.
But that's a book.
Perhaps you could think of it as a sporty,
That's not your
modern, and
fist.
extreme way of greeting one another.
I don't understand at all.
You seem to have become strong beyond all recognition. I'd like to see your power for myself, to broaden my horizons. Will you grant my shameless request?
I still don't understand. But does this mean your wish will be fulfilled if I agree to fight you? If that's really what you want. Will you mind if I don't hold back?
I couldn't ask for anything
Oh,
more.
I want you to beat me
I,
up.
Elizabeth, will fight you with all the strength at my disposal. Now, let us begin.
Settling the matters through a show of force is simple, straight? Pardon me? I said that once already. You know, I was kind of excited for Elizabeth's. To be honest, it kind of sucks. it's not as interesting as I thought. The beginning was. I liked the beginning of it. But now that she's, in the school, I couldn't care.
Finally!
Damage! Gyro!
Mom,
Light damage!
my attack. This may be a bit rough.
My other smite!
My attack. My attack. Won't you have some?
Damage!
Now down.
Light damage!
Persona.
No!
Vanish.
Severe! No! Bring it on! Persona!
Here.
Heavy damage!
Here.
Persona!
Time for
No!
a bit.
Severe impact!
Round and round. Boom.
Light damage!
Here I come. Oh
Ignite!
no. Ooh.
Try
Oh
this.
no. Impressive.
Move down!
What does that do?
Entering fever mode.
My heavy gyro pepper hand!
Here it's improved.
It just forms a wall.
You're strong.
I guess crouches down with a regretful
Oh
expression.
no. I was surprised myself. It's been a while since I fought with all my power.
I close my eyes and reminisce. Just as I had expected, she had grown more powerful than before. Igus is not human. She has an artificial body, making her a sort of mechanical maiden. No maidens? But don't worry, we have Igus. Oh, I forgot to read that. But by gaining a heart, she forged her own destiny. She did this with the power that can only be gained by those with emotions, the power of bonds. Her nature shifted from one directly by others to one who chooses for herself. She was no longer merely acting, but living. The shift caused a miracle, and she overcame her artificial origins to attain what could be called life. Some have the talent of turning bonds into great strength by forming a contract through intense desire. We, residents of the Velvet Room, refer to this talent as the wild card, and it has at times changed the course of history. Even I, who served as a resident for a long time, only encountered a few with that power. She is one of them.
I now have a wish of my own, though it may take vast oceans of time for it to come true. Perhaps one day you will accompany me on the same journey.
What do you mean?
If our destinies truly do cross, you will eventually understand.
I guess his expression shows that she still does not understand. But that is fine for now.
By the way, how have your friends been?
Huh? Oh, they're all well. Several of them are here right now.
Suddenly, a staticky voice echoes from the broken monitor speakers, interrupting our conversation. It seems I was not thorough in my destruction.
Testing. It's finally getting through. Hey, you! The one who's not on the roster! Who are you? Why are you gumming up the works?
It's that bear.
If you keep messing with my Grand Prix, I'll make you...
I snap the fingers of my right hand with a flourish. The speaker explodes. I am sure that the announcement will bother us no more now. It seems I have finally finished it off.
Oh my! Flames have suddenly burst from the speakers. How dreadful.
That was 180% your doing.
180%?
Such repeated meddling. It seems I have a bit of a score to settle with the host, too. Well then, I will be going now. Please be careful.
Oh, wait. There is a rule in this tournament against the loser of a fight moving on.
Is there? Well, considering that I entered myself into the tournament, I do not think you count as a defeated contestant. That is only conjecture, though.
You entered yourself, yet you're going to settle a score with the host for complaining about you?
Details.
Elizabeth, the intense Karen. I'm gonna go complain to the host for not involving me. I smile cheerfully in return and leave the area. Ah, truly, that was one of the better smiles.
I cannot believe that even Elizabeth's son came to this world. That's it! Her name was Elizabeth's son. I finally remember.
Good job, I guess. I'm proud of you. Eventually, I reach the room known as the announcement room. When I approach the door, I sense power from within. It seems the real host is here, and not on the monitor. I haven't encountered that Persona user known as Sensei yet, but thinking about it, I would expect him to win his matches until reaching here. It may be easier to wait than to search aimlessly for him. Upon closer inspection, the door is slightly open. There are people inside.
I sense 3 people.
3. I cautiously sneak up to the door and peek inside.
What a shame. You gave it a try, but there's no way anyone would understand you. Huh? That is that teddy bear imposter. The student council president is here too. It seems the false teddy bear's tone is much harsher than before. Has he been meeting with difficulties lately?
When I look again at what's going on inside the room, a sinister aura swirls around General Teddy. A surprising transformation occurs. His silhouette reforms into a shapeless lump which resolves into the figure of the council president girl.
I'm the shadow. The true self.
Oh cool, we skipped that whole cutscene.
That false teddy bear was actually the girl's shadow. I see. It's true
What has
that
happened?
Suffering to this degree could cause a shadow to go berserk and affect its surroundings.
The girl's true appearance has already been exposed. It seems she finally was able to face her original nature. Surprisingly, the enemy forcing the illusion upon her was her other self. I'm glad she has awakened to her true self, but this is a shocking and drastic turn of events.
At least one of them has to understand how I feel. Isn't that what you thought? The important part is that it's all your fault.
That's not true.
You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand.
That ain't true.
It's alright though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did.
All this is just happening and no one's here.
Stop! That's all a lie! You're not me!
I guess we're gonna fight the shadow.
Finally! You finally said it! I'm finally free!
Are they really gonna hit me with the cutscene? Alright. The shadow has gone berserk. At this point, it can no longer be stopped solely by the original person. Worse, the shadow has no more reason to keep its host alive. If this continues... But a third person storms onto the scene just as I am about to intervene.
Labrys.
It is a young man in a school uniform. For a moment, I am utterly captivated. How powerful is Igor? I don't know. I don't know how strong Igor is. I am utterly captivated. What powerful fire he has in his eyes. On a second look, I recognize his face from the video. As I recall, his name was Kingpin Yu. No, that's not it. Sister Complex Yu. No, that sounds even further from his actual name. Narukami. That's right, it's Yu Narukami.
I won't let you hurt her anymore. If you're gonna keep rampaging, I'll fight you.
Fine! Then you'll be the first to die!
The shadow's attacks hurls itself towards the young man. But he does not flinch and takes a fighting stance after smoothly evading it. Seeing his heightened determination, I detect a distinct presence about him.
That young man is a Persona user, too.
Ah, and that's not all. This sensation is similar to when I encountered
Could
Igus.
his powers be?
There's no doubt about it. It's the same as hers. He, too, is a Persona user whose awakened talent is that of the wild card. The shadow launches its next attack at the young man. The battle axe is brandishes as a cluster of steel as long as she is tall. If he can truly wield those powers, he may be able to stop such an attack, but it is not a sure
This
thing.
opportunity cannot be missed.
This time, I enter the room and step between the two.
What? Pardon me as I interrupt this scene.
Man, this game would have been so different if this is how it turned out.
Who are you?
You! How? I set up walls so you couldn't pass through. How did you get here?
So you couldn't pass through? What is it referring to? Oh, could it mean those invisible walls I bumped into from time to time? I suppose thinking back, I did run afoul of such things along the way. But a little push was all it took to pass through them, so I barely paid them any heed.
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
Elizabeth Dummy Strong. The shadow and the young man both look quite perplexed. Was what I said so shocking? I take the opportunity to step forward and the young man look straight in the face.
Ah. Are you perhaps the sensei that Teddy Bear spoke of? Someone who has awakened to the power of the wild card through Velvet Room's guidance.
What? Wait, that blue outfit. Who are you?
I flash him a smile and turn my gaze towards the girl collapsed nearby. I believe he called her Labrys a moment ago.
I see. I feel that I have a good grasp on the situation now. Then can't you tell you're in the way? Get out of here! I cannot do that. I came to settle some business I had with you, the tournament's host.
I have to make a formal complaint.
What business? To be blunt. What business was it? How the hell should I know?
That was harsh.
It turns out that I do not care about such trifling details after all. My apologies. Please forget my mention of business. Actually, my search for a certain individual has unexpectedly concluded, so we're done here.
I can't tell if I would have rathered this be Rize or I'm fine with Elizabeth.
Say we're done. That's it. I'll kill you where you stand. I wouldn't recommend it. If I may be so boastful, it would be a battle you stand no chance of winning. What?
My words must have been so humiliating that a shadow's face flushes red and it gropes for words. I ignore it in order to speak to the young man.
It's nice meeting you, by the way. I am Elizabeth. Would it ring a bell if I mentioned that I am the one who governs power?
You mean like Margaret?
Oh, do you know my older sister? I see, no wonder. Stop ignoring me, bitch!
I shield the young man behind me and turn towards the shadow.
Please wait a moment. I must ask the one over there.
Please wait
to
your
leave
turn.
This place before we resume. It's you who's going to leave! I was sure that I gave the proper warnings earlier. So it goes. Your fate is in the cards.
Alright, I guess we're doing this now. Thank you, Elizabeth. Her whole thing is like she's not meant to intervene, but she's not a Velvet Room resident anymore, so I guess she can. But she said she wouldn't, and here she is. Hey, do it. God dang it. How do you trigger this one?
Your fate is in the card. Your fate is in the card. Opening my deck. Warning. My turn. Your fate is in the Granito.
I kind of just want this to end.
How could it end like this? It's all completely ruined.
The shadow falls to its knees. It will completely drain. I doubt it has the strength left to attack us.
Is me?
The girl, still unable to stand, stares blankly at her own shadow. I turn around towards the young man. This P-1 Grand Prix was most likely caused by the girl's shadow manifesting her suppressed anguish. But this young man tries to reach out to her even at the risk of his own safety. And even after seeing proof that she was the one who caused that risk.
Excuse me, but may I leave the rest of this to you? I'm ashamed to say so, but delicate persuasion is not my forte.
I understand. I agree that you don't seem like you'd be too good at it.
Elizabeth just gets mad and starts fighting. The young man walks towards Labrys, who is still at a loss for words. I have yet to have a proper conversation with him, but I sense a certain trustworthiness in his strong step.
Miss President, or actually Labrys.
What am I supposed to do? What difference does it make if I accept this? In the end, no one's gonna understand me anyway, right?
It's true that others won't be able to easily understand your pain. But are you gonna give up after just one try at showing them? One victory or loss doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't give up. That's what I think.
I shouldn't give up?
No. You can do this. You're not alone anymore.
Labrys' eyes widen as if realizing the brightness of the scenery before her. The young man waits patiently for his words to sink in. After some time, Labrys finally stands up and looks towards me.
Hey, is this what you were talking about before?
I am also not human, but who you are is for you to decide. That is the power of potential that everyone
Yeah,
holds.
she's not human. She governs power.
Even for a machine, I believe that still holds true.
You could have just said so when we first met.
Alas, I have always had some difficulty making myself understood.
Come on now. You should go to her.
Labrys faces her shadow once more at the urging of the young man. You're not me! Just keeps screaming at her.
Congratulations!
Yeah, you did well.
Thanks.
There's no need to thank us. It was all you.
Seeing Labrys smile, I can't help but grin as well. But her relief only lasts for a moment before the strength drains from her body and she stumbles.
Labrys!
The young man hastily catches
There's
her.
no need to worry. She must have reached the limits of her stamina.
She's a robot. She doesn't have stamina. He props the unconscious Labrys down against the wall.
Strength that binds hearts together. No matter how many times I witness it, its beauty never fades. May I borrow some of your time?
The young man looks over his shoulder in surprise, but when our gazes cross, he turns, as if understanding.
You a resident of the Velvet Room too?
Well, in a way. I have abandoned my duties at the moment in order to see through a desire of mine.
What did you want with me?
I claim myself before opening my mouth once more.
In order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. But it is most likely not power used to fight. It is something else. I wish to understand what that is.
It's the power of bonds.
The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I don't really understand.
Put more bluntly, I wish for you to show me your potential.
I want you to fight me. The young man considers everything I said, but eventually sighs before responding.
I get it now.
You don't mind?
Would you back down if I said no? After what you said before, I don't think you'd back off that easy.
Touché.
I take a slightly defensive
There is
stance.
no need to be lenient. I invite you to approach this battle as if you intend to kill me.
I didn't think I could win any other way.
Thank you. Well then, here goes. Your fate is in the cards.
Please be the final fight. and have nothing else revolving the school situation.
Finally!
Fever mode. Here. You're frozen mode. This one will help save you a bit better. My man.
Not enough.
My attack. My turn. Here. Ha. My attack.
Get him, Thanatos.
We're in the
Murder
core
him.
one.
Eat this man.
My attack. Opening my turn. Persona impact. My attack. Thanatos. Rounds and rounds.
Guys.
I didn't mean for that to kill. I was trying to do my finisher.
She's so strong.
I see. You do indeed have great power.
Even while saying so, I'm conflicted, and my expression clouds. It's true that he was strong. He expertly wields the power of the wild card. But thinking about it, that isn't what I wanted to learn. The power of the wild card doesn't stem just from one's skills in a fight. His strength comes from his knowledge that he cannot avoid fighting to gain his desire. That strength happens to manifest as power in battle. But what I want to learn has little to do with combat. Will I ever get close to the root of the matter with this method? But even if I find that I can't, I don't see another way. I have measured all types of strength, great and small, as one who governs power. I feel suddenly anxious.
Could it be that it's something I cannot understand?
Will I never be able to understand as one distant from workings of the human society? Has it been impossible from the start for my wish to be fulfilled? I then noticed the sound of footsteps.
Hey, are you okay?
Are you kidding me?
Oh shit, dude, what happened to you?
Yukon, are you alright? Senpai, hang in there.
It seems that once the shadow who created this place was vanquished, the rules of keeping everyone trapped were nullified. These must be the friends he formed bonds with. But
Yo! Did you do this? What did you do to Senpai?
one of them turns his fierce eyes on me.
You're so mean, miss! This is going too far!
Who are you anyway? You better explain yourself!
If you did this with malign intent, we won't let you
Malign?
leave here so easily.
The heck's a malign? Their anger at seeing their friend hurt. That was a new experience for me. Their bond gave birth to anger, grew into animosity, and that fury is now directed towards me. But the young man stands up.
One more time.
He requests this even though he is badly wounded. A rematch would seem to have only one possible outcome.
What?
Please, that is enough. I've already witnessed your strength.
If this ends with my defeat, it doesn't count as me showing you my potential.
But
You shouldn't jump to conclusions. I thought I said this once today. What's important is that you don't give up after one try. You have to hang in there. My friends that I haven't seen in a while are all here. I can't just wave the white flag.
The moment the young man makes his declaration, a mysterious presence fills the area. The presence surges with power and creates a whirlpool of light around him. Within that light, the young man's determination and drive instantly rekindle.
that power.
Is it the wild card he holds? I then notice that the young man's friends are standing behind him in support, all of them fixing their gazes on me as I stand perplexed. The bond that they share in their very core is echoed in their eyes. I suddenly feel as if I am confronting a fearsome giant.
I cannot believe I am seeing this.
I find myself starting to back off. My footsteps are unsteady as I go. A small dip in the floor behind me no larger than a fingernail throws me off balance. Surely I'm about to fall. But then, unseen arms catch me.
Are you all right?
You're...
In contrast to my utter bewilderment, she wears a calm smile. When I turn back to the young man, the surge of power has already dissipated. I catch myself sighing in relief. Even when I review my long memory, I can recall no occasion on which I had felt so overwhelmed
What
before.
was that just now? Do you happen to know what this power is?
I do not know the specifics, but
I think it is called anime. Agus also turns her gaze towards you and his
that
friends.
must be the power of their bonds. The power that stems from not being alone. I don't know why, but I feel like I understand when I'm watching them.
The power of not being alone.
It's a power they all share. It isn't just his. Did their strong bonds turn his determination not to lose into an instant recovery for him? I am suddenly reminded of a conversation I once had with my sister. If something isn't possible for them to accomplish alone, they will work together. His friends have even worked miracles at times. Those were the words I spoke to her.
What's important is that you don't give up.
It is a cliche to hear, but its wisdom is profound. I dismissed his potential judging by my standards. I almost gave up, in the same way, thinking that I would be unable to understand. But he refused to allow that. His power proves there is not only one standard. It is truly the strength found in numbers.
So this is a bond.
When I think about the guests I met who had formed bonds, I may have focused too much on those individuals. I never took much interest in those who they bonded with, or how those bonds were forged.
What I should be studying isn't just him, but all of them together.
They're all scared of you.
Not the strength of a person, but of people.
This guy's hair's
That
gray.
may be the lesson.
Oh, I'm out of here.
It seems I am starting to find hope.
I nod in satisfaction.
Today's festivities made for quite a wonderful Grand Prix.
Considering that there have been some games, I should be going. If you'll all excuse me.
I turn to make my exit.
Wait a sec, you haven't explained yourself yet. You haven't even told us your name. It's Elizabeth.
Hey! Back here! What are you all happy for?
Who was she? Well, the odds are low that she was the mastermind behind this case.
Enough about her! Senpai's more important. We'll get you out of here in no time, so hang in there, Senpai. Teddy, get a stretcher ready.
Get a stretcher.
Huh?
What are you standing around for? Move!
Guys, I'm not exactly critically injured, you know?
I think it's wonderful.
You're...
Seeing you surrounded by friends reminds me of a certain someone.
Just show his face.
Someone?
I want to see it in the
There is no
game.
need to worry, everyone. His wounds are not serious. He is merely exhausted.
Oh, thank goodness. Wait, who are you?
That's... I could have left by a shorter route, but I returned to the school's front gate and looked back at the school. The faces of the people I parted with a moment ago are called to mind. Amongst them is that young man's face. I only faced him briefly, yet I recall him with surprising
I'm
vividness.
sure that he will continue to increase his strength of heart.
I'm sure he'll have more games, aka a dancing game.
It is a given with so many friends. I am a little bit envious.
I turn the pages of the compendium and draw a magic circle in the
Well
air.
then, farewell.
I soundlessly pass through it and leave as if melting into the scenery. I close my eyes and my thoughts drift to the past. Show his face. Show his face. No!
Elizabeth? Elizabeth, are you listening? You seem lost in thought like that frequently of late. Could this mean that you finally began to be troubled over things, like a normal person?
How scathing of you, as usual.
Believe me, sister, I am not as bad as you. What's the matter?
My dear sister, I want to tell you a fairy tale.
What's this about?
In our world, at the
Is
far
that even
reaches
Margaret's
of the
voice?
Sea of the Soul, there stands a large door. A soul which devoted itself to sealing that door slumbers
Oh,
there.
she's talking about the protagonist to 3.
Why did it do such a thing?
That soul is risking itself to prevent those who have lost sight of life's brilliance from luring the world to self-destruction. It has become the guardian of the door, of the whole world, in fact.
That is a very sorrowful story.
And it's all true.
My dear sister,
You just have to play Persona 3
do you think I can
FES.
save that person?
I thought it was a fairy tale.
It may be impossible alone, but what if I joined forces to do it? This person's friends are capable of miracles at times.
This person you speak of, is it... I hope you're not planning to...
Oh, don't be silly, my dear sister. I told you, it was only a fairy tale.
To a certain degree, all of your stories are like fairy tales. I don't know what's troubling you, but be sure that you don't neglect your duties.
Proceeds to neglect her duties. Oh, we're back in the void. When I open my eyes again, I am in the Sea of the Soul, a world where countless bright lights shine like a nebula.
Velvet, oh velvet.
I begin singing a song, but now that I'm here again, I feel a hint of loneliness. I smile inwardly of myself. What happened today was very fruitful for me, though it came with a certain realization. I still don't have anyone in the world outside of the Velvet Room that I wish to form a bond with. My lack of a hunger for such thing may have prevented me from understanding.
No, that's not quite right either.
Lack of hunger? That's not it. In truth, it was within my power, but I was turning my gaze away from it. After all, I didn't begin this journey only to find the means to defeat that monster. I thought by defeating it I could see him again.
To think I was unconsciously afraid of something and keeping my distance from it. That is quite a surprise.
The mechanical girl, the young man today, and my old guest all had their own desires and resolve from the start. I should make myself just as resolved if I am to achieve my desire as well. I will face it unblinkingly and accept it. I will admit that the loneliness in me arose from leaving my old residence. The sick feeling of loneliness will surely torment me and cause me grief forever. But if I harden my resolve to allow for embracing that pain, I'm certain that my yearning heart will yield great power. Bonds, the other half of being alive, along with death. Just as death gives life its shine, I'm sure loneliness will shed new light on the question of bonds. That is when I will obtain the power of bonds in the truest sense. Certainly I will not achieve that miracle alone.
I cannot defeat that monster now. I may in time gain the power to truly erase it.
He must have felt that hunger as well. That is why he tried to protect his bonds with his life, leading him into the universe. I smile to myself again. As one who leads others, I have only now gained enlightenment about the true meaning of bonds. And at that moment, it's the Fool Arcana. A single card drifts down before my eyes. Hovering before me like a butterfly, fluttering its wings, is the card of the Fool. It bursts into pearls of light on my hand.
To think the day would come where I would behold my own arcana and not that of a visitor's.
The Fool? It represents freedom, purity, possibility, and
the beginning of a journey. It may be that my journey has finally truly begun. The Fool. Well, I am aware that I still do foolish things.
I give a wry smile and look up. My gaze is fixed on what lies ahead. It is an enormous door that looks like a small mountain in the center of the void.
Please wait for me.
Oh, there he is. It's the guy. You can't see him, but he's there.
My wish come true.
I briskly turn on my heel away from the door. My walk begins.
Velvet, oh velvet.
My bright song will no longer have a mournful undertone.
My master has a large nose.
I have yet to determine a sure path. There's no assurance that my wish will come true. And whether I will truly make some sort of connection with those I encounter today isn't certain either. But I have hope now. Yeah, this is where the Persona 3 protagonist is. Well, his soul. This is where his soul is. But I have hope now, and that is what lets me go on. This time, I can head towards the future I desire without losing my way. It's done. It's 99%, but it's done. I think it's only 99% because there's stuff I can do in Chie and Narukami still. But it's done. Freedom! I'll 100% that on my own time. Alright, well, now that we're done with that, who's ready for all this? Y'all like this, right? All of this? Oh yeah, no, that was only the first half of the game. This was the Persona Arena story. This is the Persona Arena Ultimax story. And don't worry, it's not just this one either. You see the question marks. There's more. I accidentally started this when I first played this game because I thought this was the beginning of the game. But no. So I'm gonna have to replay this one too. But it's not much. But we're gonna take a break from Persona Arena. I have other stuff I plan to do the rest of the week. Yeah, the red hair guy. We still have this guy. We gotta learn about this guy, who he is. And the silentless camera void. We haven't even seen the other characters. You know, there's a whole lot more we got. Yeah, no, I plan to take a break. I'm burnt out on this game. He looks like Edge. Yeah, he does. I don't know why I'm looking through the music. Why does all the music sound good now? Wait, did they actually fix the audio mid-game? Why does it sound good now? Like, none of the songs sound like quiet. Crazy. Alright, well, it's time to do the usual. For everyone sticking around, I will give the women what they want, and I will give them their adachis. Yeah, maybe the game was updating while I was playing.
I guess I'll play along.
Picture
I guess I'll
if
play
you could
along.
choose someone to encourage you on. Who would it be?
Adachi voicing
I
Adachi?
wish you good luck.
Still need to make it to the C rank. Make it Marie. You want some Marie? Some Marie for the boys? Adachi for the girls? Yoshi Island 101. No. Some Yukiko with a Marie image? For the boys? Actually make it Naoto for the boys?
Round one. Go.
Come on. This is looking good now. I'll get you out of your misery. When they're let loose. You're shitting. You're it. Take it. I'm sorry. Be focused.
What is this? Just slinging stuff. Yeah, like Adachi said.
Be focused. Coming at ya. Keep going. You're a cocky one. Coming at ya. Be focused. Take it. Down. Yeah, just line me up and get lost.
Stay away!
This is going on wrong.
She's just slinging stuff at me.
on! This is level head. Hurry up and get low!
Oh, she threw so hard.
Is that your best?
Round 2. Fight!
You're cocky. Come on, you. Go!
I learned I could do that in the air.
Coming at you! Oh, it's a shitting! Bad strategy. You're shitting!
You can make this up. Let's go on the attack.
Good time. What your misery? Take it! Right and dust!
Slaughtered Yukiko.
Huh? We call it a day for all.
They're unstoppable!
Thanks for throwing that match for me. Oh, are you really that weak?
Loser. What do you mean finally winning? I don't play this guy. It's... Alright, because Naoto was asked for, we'll play some Naoto even though I don't play her even more.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists.
I mean, you guys want
between
Labrys,
three
right? Everyone's favorite character?
Mind and matter. Now, why don't you introduce yourself?
I sense a case in the making.
Picture in your head your own appearance as well. If you could choose someone to encourage you on, who would it be? I wish you good luck.
I'm gonna lose so bad. $100 matches, 33 wins. Yoshi's Island? Do we fight him again? As a character I never play? We've seen too much of Labrys, yeah. Yeah, especially yesterday and today.
Round 1. If you're gonna do it, don't lose.
Break through! Come, break through!
I don't know how to play this character.
Find her! This is it! Seriously? Long range shot! Here goes it down! Persona!
Oh, wait.
Move. Okay, here goes! Okay, here goes! This is it!
I'm glad you can just summon a bird.
Is it down? Persona! There! Breakthrough! Is it down?
I lose because I don't know how to play this character.
Isn't that a bad thing?
Losing your persona isn't that a bad thing? Thank you, Adachi.
2.
Persona! Is it down? Time to move! Breakthrough! I don't know what will happen. There! Bad! Is it down? Yeah! Don't over yet! Persona! This might be hot! Keeping up with it. This might be hot!
If you don't make a move, you lose.
Thank you, Adachi. Just admit you're bad at the game. I don't play this character. I don't know what she does.
Are you okay?
Is anyone surprised by the results?
Hey, can I try shooting a gun too sometime? I'm very good at...
I'd like to see you try and do better, Blue.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between...
Picture if you could choose someone to encourage you on, I wish you good luck.
Yeah, how many wins you got in this game? same guy. I'll fight you again. Aside from being a Yukiko fan, and a Marie fan, I guess, I'll fight you.
Round 1. If you're gonna do it, don't lose.
This is it! Please hit! I'm learning a lot from your impression. Here I go! Down! Now we can go on the offensive. This is it! We're not gonna lose. Down! Keep focused. Keep focused.
Dang. God dang it, I hate that so much.
Let's beat him down.
Dang it, it wouldn't do the move.
Keep cool. I must ask you to leave. We need to start fresh or we'll be...
Round 2. Go.
Here I come. Down.
How's that?
Push it a little further.
How's that?
How's that? This is a...
This character's so annoying. why can't I get close?
I'm learning a lot from your offensive pressure. This is
I haven't played this character in so long because of the campaign.
Keeper has no mercy.
Alright, yeah, I suck at this game.
It's over.
They're unstoppable.
Having played the story mode and all the different characters, I've forgotten how to play Yosuke. I've played more Adachi than Yosuke recently because I keep playing Adachi after every stream. It wouldn't do the move I kept wanting to do. I was trying to do a hurricane move. It's fine though, because I'm not gonna let it bother me like blue. But anyways, I'm done here. Persona's probably done for a bit now that we finished the arena story. God, 4 years. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed.